Welcome back to game one of this round 2 series between the Belleville Bulls and the Ottawa 67's. Here is the national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' command. Car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée, tes plus brillants espoirs. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Okay, we now can take a look at the starting lineup for the 67's. The forwards are Tudin, Tessier, and Gustafson on D, Zion and Boynton, and in nets, no surprise, Seamus Kotick. Now for the Bulls. On the attack, it would be Reddy, Papineau, and Baker. Defense, Patton, Bertrand, and the stellar performance of Corey Campbell got them a 2-2 draw last time. Let's see what he can do in this game. Take a look at Seamus Kotick, who in his first playoff series is sporting himself a .950 save percentage, which is a pretty solid number. And down at the other end, Corey Campbell has a .935, which also means that he was able to put together a .263 goals against average in the 4 games. Both teams played 4 games, swept their opponents in the first round. But that doesn't mean anything. It's head-to-head. It's Tessier and Tudin and the boys. It's going to be Reddy and Papineau, and they're ready to do battle, Andrew. And this is going to be a barn burner, and I am marking every single game of all 7 games on my calendar.
Well, the Belleville Bulls coming into town here, sporting an undefeated record here at the Civic Center this season. Right off the draw, the puck comes to Zion. He tries to clear it in. Comes to Ryan. Reddy hops over his stick. Now Reddy will throw it all the way down the ice. Icing is the signal from the linesman, and we get Zion touching it up with 19:47 to go, and you see the billowing smoke here. We had a bit of a fireworks display before the game, Neil.
Well, you know, Jeff Hunt, no stranger to the promotion game, and he's done a great job. And it's guys like Jonathan Zion that bring him into the building, a local product, a peon boy. His father was a history teacher when I was in high school, and we'll just say only recently made principal, just so I don't date myself too much.
Tessier on the draw against Justin Papineau, one of the big guns for Belleville. Puck gets tied up in their skates. Now taking it behind the net is Rick Bertrand. Bertrand off the glass, goes high over Reddy's head. Papineau tips it down the ice, no icing called. Kotick will be out to play it. Goes around the boards. Dan Tudin tries to get there. Kevin Baker is there instead, and Reddy bodies Zion off the puck. They fight for it down low. Zion comes back to Patton at the point. Patton will shoot one, blocked by Dan Tudin. Stuck his skate out, comes out to center ice. Bertrand, his pass knocked down by Gustafson. No high stick. Now Gustafson will dump it in, will wheel back out. Tessier is in there forechecking. Dan Tessier, who sat out the last game of the first round series. Here's Gustafson finding Tudin. Tudin fires one right on. So Tudin testing Campbell early, the first shot of the game, and now Zion tries to fire one towards the net, goes to the corner, now it goes down the ice. So Belleville relieving the pressure by icing it here with 1:05 gone in the first period.
Oh, what a great start and jump for the Ottawa 67, in particular Tessier's line, as they got out there and banged and crashed, and Tessier showing that he is wound up for this game. I was questioning their play in the first series. The line of Zoltek, Davis, and Bell that are on the ice now really dominated the first playoff series. But Tessier's line gets things going early and put Belleville on their heels enough to cause that icing. We'll see what line 2 does for each team.
Here is Bell. He loses the draw to Crawford. The puck trickles out to center ice. Van Hoof back to pick it up. He'll take it behind his own net. Van Hoof will stop up. Now Campbell goes behind the net looking for the puck. Van Hoof goes instead to Bell. That pass doesn't work out. Now here comes Mark Bell skating out across his own blue line, across the red line. He's running to the Belleville bench, and now Jacobson will touch it up for his defense partner, Lawmaster. Right in on top of him is Bell. He cuts towards the net. Bell goes upstairs. Couldn't finish it, and now Davis gets the rebound. He works it down low. Justin Davis back to Van Hoof at the blue line. They go cross ice to Campbell. He's bodied by Lawmaster. Now Zoltek tries to get a stick on it, and we'll get a penalty called against the Belleville Bulls here.
I think Michael Jacobson is going to the box for holding as he hauled down Mark Bell, and he's slow to get up, and boy, Ottawa can ill afford an injury to Mark Bell. Definitely one of the hottest players for them so far in the playoffs. But Mark Bell just had a great scoring opportunity, so both lines starting strong for Ottawa, putting Bell on their heels, finishing checks, and that's what does it. As Ottawa's in deep, putting the pressure on, Bell just walks right to the front. He had met Zoltek. Jacobson had to play Zoltek, take him out of the play, and allow Corey Campbell to take the shooter. That was the right thing to do for Michael Jacobson at that time, but now he's given his teammates a penalty situation.
Here is Boynton. Boynton wheels one in on the ice, and now Jacobs. So Talbot, Jacobs, and Galbraith are the forward line for Ottawa. So no power play unit out there for Ottawa. And now here is back to the blue line. Boynton fans on his shot, and Reddy gives it up to Papineau. Papineau has some skating room, fires a shot high over the shoulder of Kotick. Reddy will wheel it back to Padden. Galbraith finishing his check. And Reddy will have plenty of opportunity over this 7-game series to get Galbraith back for that hit. And now Campbell being bothered by Papineau. They go cross ice to Gustafson. Gustafson over to Tessier. Tessier in across the line. He feeds Gustafson. He fans on his one-timer. Now goes to the corner. Here's Boynton teeing one up. Right on. Campbell with the save. Now comes out across the blue line. Lawmaster clears it all the way down the ice. Here is Campbell. He will go for a skate. Puck won't sit down for him. We've got a minute remaining in the penalty for the Belleville Bulls. Dumped into the corner. Gustafson after it. Ben Gustafson leaving it there for Dan Tuden. Tessier parks himself in front of the net. Now Gustafson back to the blue line for Campbell. Campbell keeping it in to Gustafson. Back to the point for Boynton. That pass hopped over his stick, goes out and down the ice, and Cheechoo is hooked down, and we'll get a penalty called against the Ottawa 67's, nullifying the remaining 38 seconds on their power play.
Well, we saw the last time these two teams played is that short-handed, they're just as dangerous, because when they have guys like Cheechoo and Papineau and Rowe out there on the ice, they are dangerous. And if they get the puck, if there's a bad bounce, they can beat their man. And Cheechoo is hooked down. It was just a timing thing, trying to hook him up a little. Was Captain Nick Boynton. And unfortunately, he got a little too much stick on that, and he takes himself a 2-minute penalty, eliminating the power play, as you mentioned.
So here is a 4-on-4 situation. Taking it back behind his own net is John Zion. He's chased by Glenn Crawford. Out there is Derek Campbell as well. Campbell, a local boy. Now Zion will backhand it behind for Davis. Davis back behind the net for Van Hoof. They go cross ice for Davis. Davis chasing it out to center ice. Bertrand gets there first for Belleville. Now Crawford with a bit of an opportunity. Has it stolen off his stick by Zion. Cross ice to Davis. Davis steps around his man. Tries to find Bell. Scores! Mark Bell and Justin Davis combining on a picture-perfect goal for Ottawa.
What an incredible pass. Take another look at this one, folks. Great move by Davis. And he just makes an amazing pass to Bell, who had beaten defenseman Kelly Padden just by about half a body length, which is all you need to get the stick in the clear. And Padden, I think, was just a little too relaxed. He didn't think that pass was going to make it, but Davis made it happen. And Davis has a tremendous amount of confidence. You could just tell by the way he made that move and made that pass. He has every belief that they can make the play they need to play.
And here is Campbell shooting it right on. Taken by Cheechoo. Cheechoo behind his own net for Randy Rowe. Rowe out through center ice. Intended for Papineau. Now Reddy will take it back behind his own blue line. He leaves it for Jonathan Cheechoo. Cheechoo going cross ice for Randy Rowe. Rowe dumping it into the corner. After it is Ryan Reddy. Here comes Tessier, spinning and firing it down the ice. The 67's are now killing a penalty for the next minute. Here is Cheechoo taking it behind his own net. Now he comes out in front of his own net. A long pass. They thought it was over 2 lines. They don't get the call. And about 8,000 officials saw that one. The whistle didn't blow, however, and now here's Van Hoop behind his own net. Belleville yet to register a shot on goal. 6-0 are the shots in favor of Ottawa. Now Reddy working down low in the corner. Cheechoo gets it back to the blue line. 5 forwards on the ice for Belleville.
Here's
now
one of those
30 to go.
Sorry, Andrew, it's one of those chances where you see 5 forwards that they cause a defensive error because they're not comfortable on the point. The timing's different.
Here is Crawford. Crawford up to Baker. Skips off his stick. Now Van Hoop will spin and fire it down the ice with 15 seconds remaining in the power play for Belleville. Lawmaster takes it back behind his own net. Talbot will shadow Crawford. Now Lawmaster outweights Tuden. And now Lawmaster out across the red line. Hits Chaplin coming in. Chaplin behind the net. Radivojevic is in there as well. He has played strongly against Ottawa this season. Chaplin in front of the net. Blocker to the corner by Connick. Now Radivojevic behind the net. Van Hoop is right on top of him. Now Zion will be there for Ottawa. Crawford takes a whack from Tuden. Tuden turns around, but Radivojevic hangs on to the puck. Now in front of the net for Crawford. Down low to Chaplin. Chaplin cutting out in front of the net. Couldn't get a backhand shot on Connick. Now Tuden off the boards, not out. Now finally Talbot kicks it to center ice. Boynton up to Talbot. Talbot all alone. Talbot making a great one-man move. Couldn't put it upstairs on Campbell. And now Lawmaster behind the net. Talbot comes out of the corner with the puck back to the blue line. Shot right on. Rebound. And Talbot has another chance. Jacobs is in there. So is Galbraith. But Campbell holds on for a face-off.
Oh, the guys are getting wound up on both ends of the ice. Talbot made a great move. He took a look, got a great pass from Boynton, but Boynton was making a line change. And so Talbot was all alone. He knew that, so look at the move he puts on. And then unfortunately, Jacobson looks a little embarrassed as he goes bouncing off the ice, doing his best curling imitation. And then the screenshot gets through, and then 2 67's left open to go for that puck. And that's the only thing that screwed them up, is that there was 2 of them instead of 1.
DeLille, Konopka, and Alfredson, the 4th line out there for Ottawa. Now Konopka behind the net. He was victim of a flu bug that was going around in the last series. Only played 2 games. Now DeLille back to the blue line for Caba. A wrister that is paddled to the corner. Now Robinson will spin and fire. DeLille finishing his check, and we'll get some extracurricular activity.
Well, yeah, this will draw an entire crowd. There should be 5 guys sitting there looking for partners on this one. But the first penalty is due to the hard work of Zenon Konopka. He was going hard, trying to follow the play. He went across and tried to make the play. And the Belleville Bull that was checking him, I didn't catch the number, but he held on to his stick and he had him. And Konopka kept his feet going. And then Miguel DeLille, is that Justin Papineau? No, sorry, as Robinson touched the puck. There comes Konopka, and he gets a bit of a knock from Policelli. But it should be just the original penalty, and I don't think Kimmel's going to call the rest of it. But Kimmel just tripped over Alfredson. You know, I think it's a good call by Kimmel. There wasn't really anything worthwhile in that scrum. You could have called a whole bunch of penalties, but why bother? Take the original one and just say, guys, I'm not going to tolerate, you know, the obvious penalties, stuff like that. It's emotional. It's playoff hockey. I'll let you get away with it. Keep it down, though, because if you do it again, I'm going to start throwing guys. Good job by Al Kimmel on that one.
And here is Boynton over to Campbell. Campbell, his shot goes to the corner. Now Gustafson will control for Ottawa. Ben Gustafson back to Dan Tuden. Tuden spinning in the corner, watched by Bertrand. Now Tuden walking right out in front for Tessier. Tessier with a shot right on. Handled by Campbell. Now the rebound comes out to Brian Campbell. Campbell over to Tessier. Now Boynton has it hop over his stick. Ben Gustafson is there. Gustafson goes cross ice looking for Tessier. Tuden bats at the bouncing puck. Comes back to the blue line for Nick Boynton. Boynton down low, goes all the way around the net. Padden will fire one off the glass. Past Nick Boynton, and actually out over the glass and out of play with 13:07 remaining. Ottawa leading 1-0.
Well, that was about the only way you were going to get that puck past Nick Boynton, because he had read that play beautifully on the wraparound attempt. Kelly Padden trying to clear the zone. Does a great job. He put it up high off the glass. Let's take a look at Tuden's walk out to the front. Oh, if he had a little more height on that, that would have gone in. It hit the goal stick of Corey Campbell. Corey Campbell staying right with the puck. Good job by Corey Campbell.
Cheechoo gets it to the line, not out. Boynton keeps it in, although just for a moment as Cheechoo batted that pass out of midair. He streaks down the right wing, stolen off the stick by Campbell. Now Campbell will turn it back for Ottawa. Look at Campbell skate through the neutral zone. Here he comes in across the blue line. Knocked off his stick. Zoltek will slap it back behind the net for Justin Davis. Davis back to the blue line for Campbell. Campbell over to Boynton. Boynton finds Zoltek. Zoltek will shoot and score!
Zoltek with the power play marker, and boy, did he ever thread the needle. Look at Boynton's pass, look at the speed, and look at that shot. Corey Campbell knew it was coming. He tried his best to hug the post. He just couldn't do it. Where does that go in? Is that about his waist? Looked like just around his stomach area, just around the waist. Holy jumping. Boy, that was a seeing eye goal. The CNIB out in the East End is probably going to be looking for a sponsorship from Matt Zoltek after that one. That was incredible.
And here is Zion backhanding it in. Ottawa with a 2-0 lead. And you heard the crowd reaction after that goal. Got to be close to a sellout here tonight. Here is Chaplin. Puck knocked down by a glove, so we'll get a face-off with 12:25 remaining here in the first period.
Well, Andrew, of course, that whole thing got started because of the rush of Brian Campbell. I said in the opening, if they let Brian Campbell carry the puck through neutral ice area, then he will cause something to happen. He can be dangerous. That's exactly what happened. Is Brian Campbell ends up rushing the puck and started everything.
So Zoltek, Davis, and Bell right out there. Their line combining for both goals here this evening. Bell right off the draw comes to Zoltek. Zoltek in across the blue line. Some nifty stick handling to get away from his check. Now back behind the net. Campbell will paddle it around. Kept in by Davis. Now back to the blue line for Van Hoof. He dumps it in the corner. Justin Davis is in after it. Davis watched by Derek Campbell. Davis and Derek Campbell exchanging blows in the corner. Now Campbell trying to get it out, but Zoltek kicks it towards the front of the net, and the net comes off the moorings. When Matt Zoltek runs into the net, you can bet it's coming off the moorings.
Boy, there's nobody backing down at any point of this hockey game. Derek Campbell, number 37 for the Bulls, just dished out a load and a half on Justin Davis, and Davis didn't back down for any of it. He's talking to Al Campbell about it right now, but no call was made, and if you did make a call, you'd have to call it both ways, because I didn't exactly see two guys acting as angels in that play. Davis was dishing with the stick and getting some face wash material back from Robinson. Just good two-way aggressive hockey.
Talbot in the corner. Talbot taking it behind the net. Here is Jacobs. Jacobs working it out front. And now Jacobs down low to Talbot. Talbot leaves it for Galbraith. He whistles one wide, comes out across the blue line. And we'd just like to extend a warm welcome to those watching in Belleville, although they can't like what they're seeing thus far in the first period with their team trailing 2-0.
Well, the Belleville fans have seen some very exciting hockey, and it's come from a lot of guys. But the real sort of core is point men like Jason Lawmaster, who you just saw. He's not the scoring threat, not the offensive threat, but he is big, he is tough, and he is nasty. And can he ever unload a big shot? And as a result, it's solid performances from all the forwards and defensemen that allowed them to assemble a great home and away record, which essentially is 2-0 at both ends because they swept. It's four straight, so you get the 2-0s twice.
And here is the rookie line for Belleville. They have really played well against Ottawa. These kids need more work. And in the corner, taking a shot is Renzi. Now here's Newbury, one of these rookies, up with Nathan Robinson. He dumps it in behind the net. Kotick is playing it, backhand pass intended for DeLille. Now Kanopka backhands it to the corner. Renzi steals it off him, and now here's Robinson trying to push it towards the front of the net. DeLille puts it off the boards, out across the blue line, and Patton, if he hurried, he might have been able to keep that one in. Instead, backs it up, and Renzi will dump it into the corner. In after it is John Zion. Zion bodied by Robinson. Now here's Newbury out in front, kick forward, and goes through two pairs of skates. The last one being Lawmaster, and it goes out to center ice. Now back in the Belleville zone. Here's Jacobson. Jacobson to Lawmaster, cutting through the neutral zone. Lawmaster, 3 goals in the opening series. And I don't know his regular season totals, but they couldn't have been much higher than that. So Lawmaster putting out some offense in the playoffs as Tuden comes forward. Tessier brings it in offside with 10:29 remaining here in the first period.
Yeah, as I said, Lawmaster wasn't the scoring threat in the regular season, but it's that big shot that you get on power plays and on odd man situations from the point that gets you points on the board and goals through screens. Dan Tuden and Dan Tessier, the rootin' tootin' shooting line, has been on fire. Things starting to settle down now. Belleville's got their speed, they've got the pace now. I mean, neither team was used to playing at a high speed, high tempo game in the first 2 rounds with less than mediocre opponents.
Here is Campbell behind the net. Zoltek will take it on the left wing. And now here is Bell. Comes back to Paulicelli. A rare shift for Paulicelli this evening thus far. And here's Collins behind his own net. Collins off the boards. Campbell tips it out to center ice. And here is Brian Campbell for Ottawa, turning it back to Bell. He couldn't quite handle the pass. Dumps it in, and in after it is Zoltek, one of the goal scorers tonight. Here is Campbell. Campbell trying to turn it around. Gives it to Collins in front of his own net for Glenn Crawford. Crawford has a high man. Hits off 2 sticks. Finally gets to Cheechoo. Now Cheechoo will dump it in behind the net. Kotick off the glass. Played to Zoltek. Now it comes out across the blue line and into Belleville territory. Back to pick it up is Bertrand. He gets a pass from Campbell. Now Bertrand out to the blue line. Long pass to Chaplin. That was across 2 lines. The Belleville player did not touch it. Now Zion. Zion will turn it around for Ottawa. He's bodied off the puck, and now Zion will dump it out to center ice. Back to go get it is Kelly Padden. He's beat there by Bertrand, his defense partner. Now Bertrand spinning around. Hits Rowe with a nice pass from the neutral zone. Here's Radovojevic. Radovojevic in across the blue line, spinning around, looking for Padden. Pass too high, knocked down by Padden. Now it goes into the corner. Rowe is after it. Chaplin is also there. Now Radovojevic leaving it for Rowe. Rowe cutting out in front. Couldn't get there. Now the net comes off the moorings with 9:02 remaining here in the first period.
Well, you're seeing a sample of what Belleville does when they get the puck. What they like to do is they like to go outside, try and carry the puck themselves. They rely heavily on individual talent, and then they try to get the puck to the front of the net and hope that someone's there. It's a little different when you see Ottawa play because they have a set structure for the attack. And here's the Belleville player just dumping it to Rowe. Rowe tries to use the natural talent to the front. Talbot puts the stick out against the post. That's a good trick to use. You learn that one fast as a defenseman. You got to cover the distance between the man and the post, and the best way to do that, put your stick out. If he tries to cut across, you're not interfering with him. He's hitting you in the stick.
Nick Boyton to Alfredson. Pass misses him. This will be icing against the Ottawa 67's as Collins comes back to touch it up.
As looks like Henrik Alfredson disputing the call with Derek Nansen. One of the linesmen, actually failed to mention the linesmen today. Derek Nansen, Steve Miller on the lines, and Al Kimmel, the man wearing the bands. You know, if you want to get some tickets to this or any other playoff game here in the Ottawa area, this is the way to do it. 232-6767 or 755-1166. And tonight's tickets look like it would have been hard to come by, as I'm guessing over 9,000 people here in the Ottawa Civic Center.
Here is Boyton. Boyton turning around in his own zone. Newbury is there. High pass for Robinson around the boards. Now here's Renzi battling Cava. Comes to DeLille. Now Cava will slap it off the boards and out to center ice. Newbury is there. He likes to skate with it for a bit, then dumps it high into the corner. And after it is Cava. Cava will take it behind his own net. Cava, former St. Mike's Major. Bad pass intercepted by Robinson, but Cava right on top of him to make up for that error. Kept in momentarily by Belleville. Now Renzi out in front. Here's Newbury knocking it down, putting it on net. Scores! Newbury finding the seam in Seamus Kotick.
And a pretty good Belleville contingent, I would say, given that smattering of applause. A good couple of hundred at least. Making some noise from the south side. And that's just a tremendous play by Newbury to put it down to a stick. Great hand-eye coordination. And just drops it down and just taps it to it. Watch this. Look how fast he moved. That was at full speed. That wasn't sped up. That was just regular speed. Did you see how fast he moved that hand? That was just a great play by Newbury, who makes up for his holding the stick penalty, which was a power play goal for Matt Zoltek. So now he's even.
And here it is off the draw, 2-1. Ottawa leads as Campbell takes it behind his own net, leaves it for Van Hoof, who got caught up with Kotick. And now here is Gustafson. Gustafson off the boards to Tessier. Now it's pushed forward by Ben Gustafson. Gustafson up to Dan Tuden. Tuden in across the blue line. Now it comes back out across the blue line out to the red line. Papineau tried to jump on top of a loose puck. Now it's in Reddy's equipment. He knocks it down, gives it over to Bertrand. Bertrand up high over the stick of Van Hoof into the corner. Van Hoof being watched by Baker. Big hit in the corner by Baker on Van Hoof. They're trying to cause a turnover here, and Tessier tried to tap it forward. Couldn't get out across the line, and now here is Van Hoof. Jeremy Van Hoof. Now he's able to clear the zone, and down the ice it goes. Bertrand is on top of it for Belleville. He puts it high in the air and into the penalty box area. So with 7:27 to go, we get a stoppage in play.
Well, picking up assists on that Belleville goal were number 9 Mike Renzi and number 2 Nick Paulicelli, defenseman. So you're seeing that rookie line again causing things to happen. And it seems like head-to-head, Ottawa's rookie line in the last 2 months hasn't done as well against opposition rookie lines. And yet another example, as Ottawa's able to shut down the number 1, number 2 lines. But when you get to 3 and 4, it's getting a little more dicey, and the rookie lines are dominating for the visitors recently.
And here is Derek Campbell off the faceoff. Campbell off the boards, intended for Cheechoo. That didn't click, and now Campbell will go back behind his own net. Watched by Glenn Crawford. Campbell all tied up with Crawford. Now it comes to Davis. Davis will backhand it out across the blue line. Weak pass by Campbell. Now it ends up in the Ottawa zone.
And that was just a little too deliberate. And Steve Miller's going to say that that goes out just inside the red line. And here's the head-to-head meetings throughout the season. And you can see that road teams, well, you can't see because you can't tell which one's away, which one's home. But take my word for it, the only time that Belleville lost to Ottawa was in Belleville. Although they did win one in Belleville because the 2 ties came in Ottawa. So Belleville undefeated in the Civic Center.
Here is Paulicelli off the draw. Over to Collins, his defense partner. Now Paulicelli out across the red line. He will dump it in. Kotick thought about going out after it, but elected to stay in his cage. Now Randy Rowe in the corner. He'll chase it down for Belleville. Boynton is all over him. Now Lawmaster. Here is Chaplin, but he loses the puck, and now back comes Ottawa with Lance Galbraith. Galbraith will tee one up, a shot right on. Rebounded by Talbot. And now Galbraith knocking his man down, comes back out to the blue line. Boynton will have to hurry to keep it in. He does. Now Nick Boynton puts one on net. Almost hit Galbraith in the head, goes to the corner. Now Jacobs is on top of it. Chaplin is there as well for Belleville. Galbraith will spin and fire one towards net. Jacobs is there. Jacobs tries to put it in. Goes to the corner, caught up in Jacobs' equipment. Galbraith trying to lay down a knockout punch on Collins. He doesn't connect, and now it comes out across the red line into the Ottawa zone. Back to get it is Zion. Zion spinning with it out across his own blue line. Now across the red line. Zion will go for a skate with it. He's knocked down by Kelly Patton. Pushes it forward for Dan Tessier. Now Patton can't get it out. Zion has a perfect opportunity. Tee one up. Campbell with the glove save. Now comes out in front. Delayed penalty. Now whistled down against Belleville.
And Al Kimmel, I think, is sending the captain, Ryan Reddy. Yeah, that's who's going. Ryan Reddy's going to take himself out of the game for a couple of minutes. And I think it was slashing that I saw as an indication. Yes, it is. I don't know if we picked this up. Where's Reddy? Off to the side. Penalty's already happened by this point. The arm's already up because Ottawa has control. And then touching the puck was Kelly Patton. Wonder where that penalty was. Maybe it was on Dan Tessier in the corner when he first went into the attack.
Well, Tessier limped to the bench, so he certainly got hacked. We're not sure if that was the cause of the penalty, however. Now Boynton will go back to pick it up. And Boynton takes it behind his own net with 5:40 to go here in the first period. Off the boards to Justin Davis. Davis goes cross ice. Mark Bell will pick it up. Leave it for Zoltek. Now Bell behind the net. Rolls it in there for Davis. Trying to go back to Bell. Instead, Lawmaster will backhand it down the ice for Belleville. They relieve the pressure. A minute and a half remaining in the power play for Ottawa. Now Campbell will go for a skate behind his own net. He's hooked up by Chaplin. And now Campbell gets some legs under him. Out across the blue line. High pass. Tied up by Bell. Interference possibly. They don't get the call, and now Bell will take it in the corner. Justin Davis. Lawmaster will backhand it around. Gets caught up in Bell's equipment. Now Davis has it behind the net. Davis looking for a play. In his skates, Jacobson is all over him. And now Bell. Lawmaster will take it now. Lawmaster off the boards. He fanned on his clearing attempt, and now it goes into the corner for Justin Davis. Davis back to the blue line for Brian Campbell. He can't knock it down. Now Jacobson will backhand it out across the blue line and down the ice for the Belleville Bulls. Boynton picks it up for Ottawa. New troops out there for Ottawa at the forward positions. And now here's Campbell in across the line. Bertrand slows him down. Now Tootin behind the net. Bertrand knocked down by Campbell. Comes back to Boynton. He skates towards center ice. Campbell can't handle the pass. Goes into the corner. Now Tessier's after it. Tessier back to Tootin. Tootin on the... Now Tootin will skate out in front, shoot one up high on Campbell, and he will save it for Belleville.
Boy, Ottawa's really working hard. They're taking a lot of punishment, a lot of stick work. and they're just taking it for the team and trying to stay on the power play, but I really think Belleville got robbed earlier when they could have had a power play, or at least eliminated the power play for Ottawa. But look at this. In the box, Tootin is allowed just to walk right in. You know, I really like what Cheechoo did to Brian Campbell. He knew Brian Campbell was going to go behind the net, and Cheechoo just jumped on him and went after him. Speaking of jumping on and going after, I think somebody from the loony bin down the street might be missing a couple of patients.
Tessier on the draw.
Sorry.
Certainly is a circus atmosphere here tonight with the 2 Ottawa goals early. The crowd was in it. Now Belleville has replied and taken the crowd a little bit out of it, but Ottawa trying to put the crowd right back in it here with Tootin down the left wing. Here's Tootin to Tessier. Pass intercepted by Crawford. Now the power play is over for Ottawa. Here's Rogers high over the net. Came right back out in front. Nobody home for Belleville, and now we'll get another stoppage in play here.
Well, going hard to the net was Rick Bertrand. And we'll take another look at the bounce off the boards, and there's Bertrand getting hauled down.
No penalty called on the play. And here is Talbot, Galbraith, and Jacobs out there for Ottawa. Newbury, Renzi, and Robinson are the forward line for Belleville. Here's Lawmaster controlling. He will dump it in and breaks his stick in half in the process. Now Robinson in the corner as Lawmaster goes to the bench for a new piece of lumber. Ottawa unable to take advantage of that momentary skate to the bench by Lawmaster. Now here's Renzi in across the blue line. Galbraith will go back to chase it up. Kotick leaves it for him. Now Lance behind the net, waiting for a play, makes one to the corner. Now through center ice, Talbot, the intended receiver, popped over his stick, and now an icing call against the Ottawa 67's. And let's head downstairs to our man in the trenches to find out what's coming up in the first intermission. Howie?
Thanks, Andrew. Coming up, we'll have a profile on defenseman Jeff McLean, and I'll be talking in studio with Belleville broadcasting legend Jack Miller. That's coming up, first intermission.
The voice, Jack Miller, who's got quite the solid projecting sort of style, and does some work for a whole bunch of networks. Fun guy to talk to. I was talking to him before the game about Belleville, and he was just wringing his hands saying this is the series. Everybody was kind of, let's get through the first round, let's get rid of the preliminaries, and let's get to the real deal, which is Belleville versus Ottawa. And he's excited, as are we, to see the Belleville Bulls playing the Ottawa 67's in the second round.
Campbell will go back behind his own net. Radivojevic is there. Randy Rowe also for Belleville. Rowe off the back of the net. Rowe looking for a turnover, but it goes up into the crowd, out of play. And both teams, sorry Neil, but both teams wasted no time in disposing with their first round opponents, eager to get at each other, I guess.
Yeah, what was really interesting is when we looked at the 2 first rounds, you think, oh, well, Belleville outscored everybody in the league. They scored 31 goals for it, but they were only a plus 19. Ottawa, who only scored 14 goals, was a plus 11. So, like, from that point of view, they're not far off. It's defense that was the key for Ottawa, and offense was the key for Belleville.
Chaplin behind the net. Here's Rowe. Rowe worked over by Van Hoof. Now Van Hoof trips Rowe. Rowe falls on top of the puck. Puck finally comes loose to Radivojevic. Radivojevic tries to dump it down low. Now here's Chaplin down low to Rowe. Rowe worked over by Campbell this time, so they're paying close attention to Randy Rowe. Now comes back to Kelly Padden at the blue line. He will dump it behind the net. Now Campbell up to DeLille. Back to Brian Campbell. Campbell's weak clearing attempt doesn't get out across the blue line. And now Tessier will dump it in for an icing against the Ottawa 67's. And we'll get a stoppage in play with 2:19 remaining here in the first period.
Yeah, Dan Tessier wanted a rest. He wanted to get off because he knew his line was coming out next. And so he's trying to get off. And I think you're going to see Dan Tessier come off anyways, as Talbot is going to take the center position. And you see Ottawa's playoff record at home again, disposing of their opponent in 4 straight. You're going to have 2 wins at home and 2 wins on the road, and of course no losses. And that's the way Ottawa wants to keep it, as does Belleville. So really both teams fighting to see who's going to get their first playoff loss.
And So far, Ottawa has the upper hand with 2:14 remaining here in the first period. Comes back to the blue line for Jacobson. His shot fired right on. Connick steers it to the corner. Now Baker's in there after it. Zion right on top of him. Comes around the boards for Gustafson. He chops it out to center ice. There it's taken by Lawmaster. Lawmaster finds Papineau. Papineau, Talbot is right on top of him. And now comes back to Zion. Pushed forward by Baker. Baker for Belleville right in front of the net. And Papineau tried to get a stick on it. We'll get a penalty called against the Ottawa 67's.
Well, Kevin Baker had a stick on it. The only problem was it wasn't his stick. It was that of Ben Gustafson's. And Ben Gustafson, who actually now is tied for the team lead in penalties, which you may say you're surprised to see, but in the playoffs he did the same sort of thing last year. Last year he had a whole pile of penalties as well. Not quite the team lead, but he was up there, top 3. He's just an intense player, and when you play hard, you play tough, unfortunately, you take penalties.
Here is Boyton on the penalty kill. And Boyton finishing his check vigorously in the corner, and we'll get a crowd here, but another penalty call here.
Well, there's a high sticking call coming up to somebody. And judging by the animated discussion of Ryan Reddy, I would have to say that he is going to be victimized for the second straight Belleville penalty. Has number 11 written in the first square, which is the player to take it. And we'll see as it goes to, oh, there's the call there. You see the referee put his arm up. Obviously it was on Nick Boynton. And then Belleville tried to draw Nick Boynton into a retaliatory penalty. And that's why Nick wears the C. He's composed and he doesn't take retaliatory penalties too often. You got to really get him rattled to get him to do that. So luckily for Ottawa, the power play is eliminated just 7 seconds into the disadvantage for Ottawa.
Here is Lawmaster backing it up. Now Lawmaster gets the return pass. 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute 43. And now here's Tuden breaking in. Tuden working on Jacobson. Tuden tripped as he goes to the corner. Now Tessier looking for the loose puck in the corner. Jacobson is there first. Lawmaster will take it behind his own net for Belleville. Tuden watching Lawmaster. Now comes out to Papineau. Lawmaster will skate out with it across the blue line. Lawmaster fighting for that corner. Big hip check by Boyton. Boyton submarines Lawmaster and almost sent him for a loop. And now Nick Boyton will go for a skate across the blue line. Nick Boyton stopping up, waiting for somebody to cut towards the net. Tessier fans on his one-timer. Tuden, Campbell all alone. Campbell fires one right on. And Corey Campbell makes the save.
Campbell on Campbell. Boy, Corey Campbell gets the upper hand on Brian. And no, they're not brothers, but they're playing like it, trying to show each other up. But what a great puck movement by the Ottawa 67's. First, we got Nick Boynton taking out the legs of the huge 6'4" Jason Lawmaster. Look at that textbook hip check. Kids, circle that one, tape it, put it in the books. That's exactly how you throw a hip check. And this is how you move the puck. And that, goalies, is how you make a tremendous save.
Pass deflected by Bell. Crawford will have to come back to collect it for Belleville. And now Crawford up to Radovojevic. He skates in on the left wing for Belleville. Campbell tries to muscle him off. Radovojevic hangs on to the puck. Now Crawford will control. Crawford right back to Radovojevic. He loses control. Now Zion is all over him. Campbell loses his stick, and he'll have to play soccer. Now he wraps up his man and throws him to the ice, so he'll get a penalty, but Kelly Patton fires a shot right on. Now Crawford shooting. That was Cheechoo, and Connick touches it, so that'll be a whistle with 12.5 to go, but Campbell is certainly going off for that tackle.
I'm surprised Brian Campbell did that. I mean, he had to make the play for sure, and he had some talent out there, but I really didn't think that was necessary, and Brian Campbell really taking a bad one for his team, as he'll take the 2-minute hold. Watch this. Campbell has the stick pulled out of his hands, and he should have taken it to the corner, and instead he just mugs. I think it was Justin Papineau coming in, and you can see the referee right in your screen putting his arm up.
Campbell looking a bit like Lawrence Taylor on Joe Theismann a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago? Were you around then?
I was around then.
Wow.
I was just a young lad.
Well, this is kind of the epic sort of battle. Instead of mano a mano, it's team versus team, as these two have a long sordid history against each other.
Comes back to the blue line, out across the blue line. Baker tries to put it forward for Belleville. Now Radovojevic dumps it in, and this will be the end of the first period with a whole slew of penalties up on the scoreboard, but the score that counts is 2-1 Ottawa, Neil.
Well, I think Tessier just gave Radovojevic a slash, too, and he's not too happy about that. So a lot of scores to be settled, but it's not going to be done in the first 20 minutes. And Ottawa does lead by 1. This is going to get interesting. It's going to get hotter.
Well, we'll be back in a moment as OHL Prime Time rolls on from the Ottawa Civic Center right here on Rogers Community TV.
Welcome back to OHL Prime Time. We are pleased to be joined in the studio by Jack Miller, the, I should say, legendary broadcaster of the OHL, and the Belleville Bulls. Jack, welcome to our little studio here.
Well, thanks, Howie. Thanks for making me feel real old.
Jack, the Belleville Bulls and the Ottawa 67's are almost destined to be in this series, don't you think?
I think 2 weeks ago when we were here in that 2-2 tie, the last game regular season, and you knew then. I mean, when Ottawa finished in second and Belleville were in third, and then you'd look back and you'd say, okay, there shouldn't be any problem in round one between Ottawa and North Bay. There sure wouldn't be any problem between Sudbury and Belleville. And I think we kind of set our calendars for April the 2nd that we'd be right back in here again.
It seems like every team in this division has a nemesis, and for the 67's this year it has been the Belleville Bulls. The 67's have done okay at the Yardman Arena, but the Bulls have done very well here, not losing a game.
It's kind of strange just the way it worked out, but I think what's happened is these teams are similar in a lot of ways, and certainly not the least of which is in their skating ability. You've got two fair-sized rinks, especially in Belleville, which is 100 by 200. It's an international size ice surface, and guys like Brian Campbell, I mean, they see that and their eyes light up and away they go. So Ottawa's always competed well in Belleville, and over the years I think 67's club is noted for their skating ability, and Belleville's pretty much the same way. But I think if anything there was a lot of surprise that Belleville would be able to have some success in this building when few other teams did. I mean, let's face it, 67's were just so good on home ice this year. I don't know if there's anything that really stands out except that the Bulls seem to be able to play their game in here for some reason. I mean, you get such a defensively tight team like Ottawa, and next thing you know, we're looking at games that are 8-5 and 7-5 and things like that. Very uncharacteristic from a 67's point of view, but certainly from a Belleville point of view, that's the way they want it. 67's did a very good job against North Bay, defensively allowing them only 3 goals in the 4 games, but they didn't score a lot of goals. Now Belleville comes in here and they scored a lot of goals against Sudbury. What do you look forward to in this series between the two teams? I think it's going to be tight. I think it will be on the lower to mid-scoring range. I think you'll see games like 4-3 or maybe 5-3, 4-2, that type of a thing. In the Belleville-Sudbury series, Sudbury's defense was not very good, to be honest with you. Goaltenders on for both of them, Gorman and Raycroft, were pretty much left on their own, and Belleville was able to basically score at will almost, and they did a pretty good job against Sudbury defensively until the last game. I think on the other side of things, you get North Bay. I mean, they can't score. They haven't been able to score all year long, but both Gagne and Auld are very good goaltenders, and I think they played like they were in the playoffs, and so maybe that perhaps is one of the reasons why Ottawa didn't score as much, but I think when you look at the games, they were still dominating.
If the rest of the North Bay Centennials played, I guess, as hard or as determined as the two goaltenders did for North Bay, then it might have been a different series, but you look at it, and Ottawa did do pretty well in that one. Now, you look at the guys in this Belleville team, and I mean, you know these guys. What are they going to do now that the series is Belleville-Ottawa in the second round?
Well, I think what they've got to do is stay out of the penalty box, for one thing. When you look at the breakdown of the games this year, the big difference for Ottawa, at least, was the power play. And Tessier had 7 goals against Belleville this year. Every one of them were scored on the power play. And I remember that 8-5 game, and all 5 goals by Ottawa were scored with a man advantage. So that's a big difference there. Belleville seems to play better 5-on-5, which has been their story all year, Howie. The weird thing about Belleville is that they are the second highest scoring team in the league, but their power play was nowhere near as consistent, I think, than Luke Crawford would want. But they don't have a Brian Campbell back there quarterbacking things. They don't have a Nick Boynton, and quite often you'll see a 5-forward power play. And that's the way they have to counter it. So that may end up being the big difference in the series, how these teams produce on specialty teams.
Can Justin Papineau and Jonathan Cheechoo and the guys lift their games any further than they already have?
I think Cheechoo and Papineau, they both had 10-point opening round series. It's kind of tough to think that they can lift it much more beyond that, except then to say they'll have to make sure that they watch their defensive responsibilities as well. Scoring goals is all well and good, but I mean, if you're going to be down at the other team's end all the time, that means you're not in your own end perhaps when you should be. I think the big difference with Belleville is while Cheechoo and Papineau and Reddy get so much of the attention, and justifiably so, there's a guy like Randy Rowe who outscored all of them against the 67's this year, but you don't hear his name, and he had 12 points in the 8 games. So I think that just underlines Belleville's depth.
A couple of weeks ago, Fred Boymestruck said that we would be back here, the two teams back again, and I'm sure that Fred is looking forward to being here in the second intermission because he sees sitting in this studio as almost a good luck charm in this building.
Well, not that Freddie would ever be superstitious or any coach would be, but if Freddie thought that there'd be an edge to be had to be on this stool, you can bet he'll be here.
He will be. Thanks a lot, Chuck, and good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thanks.
We'll be back with more of OHL Prime Time right after these words, folks, but first we're going to take a look at the goaltending stats through the playoffs in the OHL.
Welcome back to the Ottawa Civic Center, where the score after one period of play is the Ottawa 67's 2 and the Belleville Bulls 1. And Neil, once again, the Ottawa 67's led, as they have been throughout this playoff, by Mark Bell, Justin Davis, and Matt Zoltek.
Yeah, and it all got started, though, by an incredible rush by number 44, Brian Campbell. And if it wasn't for him getting going on that power play, so the two things we said that Belleville had to stop, Brian Campbell rushing the puck and the power play, well, both connected on one particular instance, and that is why there's only a one-goal lead for Ottawa.
Well, 3 goals scored in the first period. Let's take a look at the first period scoring summary.
Well, as you mentioned, Bell Davis, and help from the point is Jonathan Zion at 3:39. Then Zoltek, Boynton, and Campbell at 7:21. Newbury, Renzi, Policelli, the rookie line, connecting at 11:40 to get Belleville on the board. As we take a look at the amazing goal by Matt Zoltek, which ends up being, as there's no surprise, the play of the period.
So it'll be a 4-on-3 to start things off here for the next 12 seconds. As Ben Gustafson serving out his minor penalty. Tessier wins the draw, back to Boynton. Boynton shoots it the length of the ice. And back to get it is Cheechoo. Cheechoo starts out for Belleville. Jonathan Cheechoo up to Rowe. Rowe in on the left wing. Rowe will take it around the net. Boynton thought about whacking him, and Rowe lost the puck. And now it comes out across the blue line. Tessier dumps it out. 1:22 remaining in Brian Campbell's penalty. Now here's Ryan Reddy back behind the net. As Belleville has their 5-forward alignment here on the power play. Reddy up to Papineau. That is missed by everybody, so icing will be called against the Belleville Bulls, and that's not something I'd like to see on the power play if you're Belleville.
No, I can't imagine that Luke Crawford, the head coach for Belleville, is all too happy about that, as the Ottawa catches a lucky break, and you can see him, he's giving a little bit of a voice chatter, and that's exactly why. It's because these guys, you got to think, you may be playing the point, but the basics are still the same. Instead of receiving a pass over 2 lines, you got to make sure you don't send it over 2 lines, and that's a very bad mental mistake for the Belleville Bulls, and they can't afford many of those, because now Ottawa has a chance to win the draw and control, and they can kill a lot of time from here.
Off the face-off, it comes to Rowe. Rowe will throw it behind the net for Cheechoo. Now here's Reddy breaking out. Ryan Reddy across the red line. He will shoot it into the corner. In after it is Papineau. Papineau backhands it for Baker. Zion bats it up in the air. Baker kicks it forward for Papineau. Right back to Baker. Baker had turned away, and now Reddy off the boards back to the point. Cheechoo will fire one. Goes wide, deflected by Tuden. And now Baker's in there. Comes back to the blue line, and Rowe. Rowe down low to Baker. Baker even lower to Reddy. Reddy behind the net for Papineau. Now it comes out to the blue line. Not out. Rowe keeps it in. Now here's Cheechoo. Has the puck go off his stick. In the corner it comes to Boyton. Boyton trying to control the puck. He's fighting with Papineau. Papineau trying to get the upper hand, but Boyton finally comes out of that battle with the puck. Now Baker is in there. Boyton throwing his weight around. Puck hops over the glass and out of play with 18:25 to go here and 13 seconds remaining in the power play for Belleville.
And that's why Nick Boynton was drafted by Washington in the first round, 9th overall back in '97, was because he can make the strong plays like that in traffic. Took on 2 Belleville Bulls, and he came out with the puck and somehow managed to stop play. It's just from hard work and a good work ethic. Of course, is something Brian Kilray absolutely demands and expects from all of his players. And so far, we've seen just about every guy giving it.
Bell and Crawford will face off here on the draw. Comes back to Jacobson. Jacobson's high shot into the glove of Kotick, and he will hang on for another face-off here with 18:20.
That's a smart move by Seamus Kotick. His team is killing a power play opportunity for Belleville right now for another 8 seconds. So he grabs the puck, gives a chance for Dan Tessier to come out and try and win the draw. Ottawa's #1 face-off man. There's Seamus Kotick, puts the glove on it. No intention of playing it. Wasn't even looking to play it. Now Dan Tessier will try and kill off the rest of this penalty.
And here is Crawford on the face-off. Tie up with Tessier. And now Tessier will backhand it down the ice. That'll kill off the remaining seconds in the Ottawa penalty. Now Radovojevic behind his own net for Lawmaster. Lawmaster will start out, bumps into the referee. Kimmel has had bad luck with collisions with players thus far this evening. Knocked down by Alfredson earlier. And here's Crawford back to Lawmaster. Lawmaster shooting, blocked by Van Hoof, and now Campbell will turn it back. To the blue line it comes. Crawford knocks it down. Crawford's pass bounced off a shin guard, and now Campbell will start out with Zoltek. Campbell will skate to the left wing boards. Zoltek is the trailer. Davis right out in front has 2 whacks at it. Can't put it home. So some good goaltending by Corey Campbell. A nice pass by Brian Campbell. Now here's Renzi in all alone, shooting right on. Kotick hangs on for the faceoff.
Boy, both goaltenders had to be sharp as defensively both teams fell asleep. Jeremy Van Hoof was looking where he was passing the puck before he even made the pass. And the thing is, when the period starts, there's some water on the ice and pucks stop. But look at Brian Campbell's pass to Justin Davis. Wholly blown assignment. Davis had 2 shots at it, but he's too tight. Corey Campbell makes a great save. Second one didn't really amount to a save. And there's the giveaway by Van Hoof, who had blocked the shot earlier on a giveaway he caused before that.
Well, the Belleville Bulls have been at their best when Newbury, Renzi, and Robinson are on the ice. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. These guys need more work for Belleville. They've been spectacular against Ottawa throughout the season. Tessier will face off against Renzi.
There's only one problem with that. You're right, they have been good, but you can't take time away from the experienced guys. Luke Crawford is in a nice position to be able to pick 3 lines that can do the job.
Here is DeLille on the breakout attempt. Stopped by Renzi. Now it comes out across the line. Here's Bertrand finding Padden. He'll go to Robinson. Robinson tips it into the zone, and now Renzi gives chase on top of Boyton. Renzi bodies Boyton into the end boards, and now DeLille comes out with it over to Alfredson. Alfredson will chop it into the zone, goes in offside with 17:07 to go.
Well, some words being exchanged by Konopka and Newbury, as Newbury gave Konopka a bit of a bounce after the whistle.
Your attention, please, with the owner of the
And we're going to take a look of a slashing. Here's Nick Boynton. Takes a bit of a hack on the side and then makes the play anyways.
564 ODD. Thank you.
And here is Talbot on the draw against Chaplin. Jacobs tries to kick it forward, taken instead by Lawmaster. Lawmaster through the neutral zone. Lawmaster will tee one up, partially fanned on it. Kotick paddles that one to the glass, and now it comes back to the blue line for Jacobson. Tipped forward by Rowe. A broken stick, so Lawmaster has gone through 2 sticks. Both broken on slap shots. Cava was high stick there, and we'll get a penalty called against Belleville when Randy Rowe touches it up.
Well, I think Randy Rowe was also the one that did the hack, and Well, maybe not, but it's Radivojevic. As Steve Miller is escorting Radivojevic to the Belleville penalty box. High sticking will be the call. And Radivojevic was one of the guys we saw during the regular season between these two teams who actually made some incredible plays. He's been awfully quiet. Hasn't really picked up his game yet for the playoffs. And you see there's the, whoa, yeah, there's a good slash. And you know, the referee wasn't making the call when the slash happened. It's only when Cava cringed in pain did the referee put up his arm. And so Cava selling the ref on that slash. Good job by Cava.
And here is Patton dumping it in for Belleville. Goes around behind the net, stopped by Connick. Now ready on the forecheck on the penalty kill. Causing havoc. Tuden goes back to pick him up. Now Tessier digs for it in the skates. Comes back behind the net. Nick Boynton will go back and pick it up. Boynton out there with Gustafson, Tuden, Tessier, and Campbell. Now off the boards it comes. Ryan Reddy with some aggressiveness on this shift, finishing his check, and now Gustafson will chase it into the right wing corner. Around the boards it comes. Here's Tessier. Tessier back to the blue line for Campbell. Campbell unable to keep it in. Now he'll take it back, gives it to Boynton. Boynton leaves it for Tessier. So Papineau and all the Belleville penalty killers finishing every check they can. Now Gustafson taking it down low. Tessier back to the point. Boynton has Campbell open, goes to Tessier instead. Tessier out at the top of the circle. Now Tessier will skate in and peel away. Comes back to Nick Boynton at the point. Down low to Brian Campbell. Campbell back up top to Boynton. Boynton will load one up, shoot one into the pads of Gustafson. Didn't get through. Now Papineau starts back for Belleville. Papineau dumping it into the zone. Back to go get it is Campbell. Connick stops it up for him. Campbell will skate out with it. Now he passes it off to Boynton. Boynton in across the red line, across the blue line. Off the skate, his pass goes, and out to center ice it comes. Now Lawmaster with a new stick is in across the blue line on the right wing. Lawmaster killing off some valuable seconds here. We're under 25 to go in the power play. Now Campbell has it for Ottawa. This line has been out there for the entire power play for Ottawa. And now Campbell will dump it in. Davis is finally out there, so is Mark Bell. Those two connected on a very pretty goal in the first period. And now under 10 to go. Connick around the boards it comes. Lawmaster the only guy there, and he will tee one up. Connick had to be sharp there as he was getting right back into his net. Now here's Davis off the boards. Zoltek going for a skate, a dangerous skate right in front of his own net. Now Zion off the boards to Bell. Bell dumping it forward for Davis. Davis in after it. He's bodied by Lawmaster. Davis goes down in a heap, trying to keep possession of the puck, and now Bell fighting for it. Comes to the sideboards for Zion. Now Rowe is out there with Jonathan Cheechoo and Radivojevic, the number 2 line for Belleville. Now here's Bell dumping it in. Around the boards it comes. Campbell couldn't stop it up, and Zoltek is coming in there crashing for it. Lawmaster has it, and he will dump it right on Connick. Connick gloves it and leaves it for Jeff McLean. McLean, the subject of our first intermission piece. And he is hooked down, and a penalty will be called against the Belleville Bulls. And Jack Miller mentioned in the intermission how Belleville has to stay out of the penalty box, and they have not done a good job of that thus far this evening.
And luckily for them, Ottawa's power play in the playoffs has been absolutely anemic, as they are 14th in the league in the playoffs and currently 1 for 5, as they were hitting on about 30%, 33%. You just see Radivojevic again taking the penalty. And he just put the stick in McLean's skates, and McLean just stepped on the stick, so it wasn't an obvious trip. And there's the man that's been doing some great penalty killing, number 11, Ryan Reddy. And he actually gave a pretty good two-hand slash to the heels of Brian Campbell away from the play that the referee didn't see. We'll see if he keeps up that type of play.
Papineau ices it for Belleville. Zion is after it. Reddy right in there, crashing right away, and he's thrown down by Zion, and a penalty will be called. The goalie goes to the bench, and now Patton will let one fly, and that one goes up off the end signs just underneath the luxury boxes, and apparently a nice catch made by a fan in the stands.
Well, there's a makeup call, and again, an innocent looking play, but that's what was called for the power play for Ottawa. So now I think it's John Zion. He can't believe it. He doesn't even know he's going yet, but trust me, it's John Zion. Watch what Zion does here. Puts on the brakes, loses the puck a little, and then he just grabs Reddy as they come out. It's keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. And you see, there's Ryan Reddy throwing himself to the ice on the little tug. and Reddy makes up for one of the 2 penalties. He took back-to-back penalties in the first.
Here is Crawford on the draw against Bell. Comes back to Lawmaster. And Van Hoof fighting for it on the boards. So we've got 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute 32 as Connick gloves that one up with 13:30 to go here in the second period.
Well, Connick's just going to slow things down. That's the last thing Belleville wants, is to have a slow-paced game. They like to fly, and the more that they can get Ottawa skating, the better it is for them. The Belleville Bulls are a skating team as well as Ottawa, but I think Ottawa's system can adapt to a slow-paced game better than the Belleville system can. And Connick wisely slowing things up. I think it's a smart move.
Here is Crawford on the draw. Now Boyton will take it behind his own net, content to kill off a couple of seconds. Crawford will watch him. Now here's Davis, or excuse me, that's Bell out there with Davis. Now Campbell will turn it back for Belleville. He is spun around and knocked down by Van Hoof, but Van Hoof comes up gimpy on that one, and he will go to the bench. Campbell hops over the boards for Ottawa as a second defenseman. Now Davis intercepts a poor pass by Corey Campbell, the goaltender. Derek Campbell in to help him out. 3 Campbells on the ice right now, 2 for Belleville and 1 for Ottawa. Derek works on Brian, and Derek will throw it around behind the net. Connick returns the favor up around the glass, and Bertrand will pick it up for Belleville. He'll clear it in across 2 lines to Glenn Crawford, and that'll be a 2-line offside.
Well, you can hear the agony of Van Hoof as he went off the ice. You can see there's Keech, the trainer. Jeff Keech huddled over Jeremy Van Hoof, and Van Hoof's in a lot of pain. You see there, and geez, looked innocent enough. It just must have been one of those angle things, Andrew. You know, sometimes it's all it takes. It's like those knee-to-knee collisions. And you just see you got a little tangled up, and just a twist. The skate stays in the lane or the rut, and the knee itself gets a little twist, and that's all it takes.
And here is Bertrand clearing it in for Belleville. Goes to the glass. Off the stick of Connick. Now Cava around the boards. Cheechoo finishing his check on Campbell. Comes through center ice and down the ice. Cheechoo will go back to pick it up for Belleville. And now we've got 4-on-4 hockey for the next 24 seconds. Now Zoltek tries to knock down a high pass. Bertrand dumps it in behind the Ottawa net. Inaccurate is Cava. Cava picks up the puck. Cava leaving it for Campbell, who has a head of steam. He will skate in across the blue line. Campbell around Bertrand. Campbell going towards the net. Zoltek had a chance. Talbot fires one off the glove of Campbell and off the glass, and now we'll get another penalty called against the Belleville Bulls. Seamus Connick will skate to the bench, and now here comes Brian Campbell. Campbell up in the skates of Talbot. Now here's Bell across the blue line. Bell trying to retain possession for Ottawa. Now Rowe has it with 5 seconds remaining in Zion's penalty, and then Ottawa will go on the power play.
Well, Al Kimmel's been busy so far in this game. He's now called a total of 12 penalties. We've seen busier, though, between these two teams. We saw one where the first period alone had almost 30 penalties. And there you see the tie-up and a slash from Rowe.
And it is Jonathan Cheechoo who will go to the box for Belleville. Zion is standing up in the box. He will come off in 5 seconds, and then Ottawa will have a power play. 18-10 are the shots on goal, almost midway through the hockey game. Tessier on ready. Puck ties up, comes to Jacobson. Now Jacobson will go for a skate. He's being watched by Gustafson across the red line. Jacobson dumps it in. Connick will stop it up and go around the boards for Ben Gustafson. Gustafson comes back to pick it up. Gustafson takes the puck around behind his own net, stops up, and now will go back the other way for Nick Boyton. Boyton's pass hits off a shin guard, comes to Gustafson anyway. Long pass for Tootin. He's got a break. Dan Tootin coming in, rolls it along the ice and wide. Here's Gustafson behind the net as the power play is in full swing now for Ottawa. Ben Gustafson walking it up the boards. Watched by Ryan Reddy. Back to Tessier, now back to Boyton. Boyton over to Campbell. Campbell will unload one, tipped by Gustafson just wide. Now here's Tessier on the sideboards. Tessier will let one fly. Gustafson right there. Shot it wide. Tootin in front. Now this line all over the place for Ottawa. Comes back to the blue line for Campbell. Campbell shoots one high. Knocked down by Gustafson. He tried to bat at it. Couldn't connect, and now it comes down the ice with a minute remaining in the power play for Ottawa. Campbell will pick it up. Belleville in the middle of a line change. Now Campbell off the boards for Davis. Davis has Tootin. Tootin at the end of a long shift. Trying to put it in front. Couldn't connect for Mark Bell. And now it comes down the ice. Connick is out to play it. And out to pick it up is Nick Boyton. Boyton, backhand pass. Hits Campbell with it. Zoltek is up ahead of everybody. Leaves it for Bell and sets a pick for him. Now Davis tried to get the return pass intercepted by Bertrand. Comes out across the blue line. And now only 25 seconds remaining in the power play. Campbell off the boards. Zoltek trying to pick up that pass. Had it hop up on him, and now Davis has it at the right wing. Couldn't control the pass, and Bertrand turns him back. Campbell. Puck goes high in the air. Now Brian Campbell controls for Ottawa. Watched by Derek Campbell. Now Boyton knocked down by Derek Campbell. Campbell looking for somebody to pass to. More importantly, he's killing off the remainder of this power play. And now Bell will have it as we're now at even strength. Bell to Boyton. Knocked back in by Rowe. This is offside with 9:36 to go in the second period. 2-1, Ottawa leads.
Well, great penalty killing from Belleville. Ryan Reddy was allowed to hack and hack away at the Ottawa players, but Ottawa had at least 4 glorious scoring opportunities, and they failed to connect. Gustafson had a couple. Tessier had a couple of good shots, but look at this. Gustafson, as that whole line is struggling, Tootin, normally that sits down for him, and they're just getting the bad bounces. They're not making the plays they were making in the majority of the season. And coming into the playoffs is not a good time to go cold with the touch.
And here is Cava. Cava taking it behind his own net. Up for Jacobs. Jacobs backhands it off the boards. Not out. Now here's Chaplin handling it for Belleville. Cycles it down low for Randy Rowe. Rowe behind the net for Radivojevic. Radivojevic taking it behind his own net. Talbot is there. Now Radivojevic, as it comes around the boards, kept in by Collins. He was on his off wing. Now Chaplin. Chaplin out front. Rowe couldn't handle the pass. Kept in by Radivojevic, but he slapped it forward for Jacobs. Jacobs tries to make a cross-ice feed. Now both 67's are out across the line. Or no, excuse me, they weren't. So we will get an offside called against the Ottawa 67's.
And Derek Nansen is saying this was deliberate offside, and unfortunately, although I love Derek Nansen as a linesman, he's one of the best ones in the league, hands down, but I think this is the wrong call. It was obviously a blown timing play. Jacobson tried to get it across the line. Galbraith was way over. He comes back, watch this, and he just blows the shot. See, he looks up, and then he doesn't realize that Talbot didn't come all the way out. Talbot's leg was still up. And I think, unfortunately for Ottawa, they get a questionable call, but nonetheless, I mean, it was close enough. Derek Nansen could make that call. So he's a good ref. He doesn't really blow calls, but...
Here is Boyton. Backhand pass to Campbell. Over to Nick Boyton. Boyton up to DeLille. DeLille through center ice. Intended for Alfredson. Knocked down by Lawmaster. Lawmaster turning it back. He leaves it for Renzi. Renzi tries to throw it towards the front of the net. Alfredson will chop at it. Throws it down the ice for Ottawa. This will be an icing call against the Ottawa 67's. Waved off at the last moment. And now here's Nathan Robinson. Robinson, Newbury, and Renzi were on the ice for the Belleville goal, scored by Chris Newbury. And now Campbell will take it behind his own net. Here is Campbell up to Nick Boyton. Boyton goes cross ice. Hits Alfredson with a nice pass. Now Konopka trying to bring it across the blue line. They're offside, and now a delayed offside as Konopka clears the zone. And now Lawmaster brings it out across the red line. Lawmaster will backhand it in on Connick. He leaves it for Nick Boyton. Boyton up to Ben Gustafson, so this line seeing a lot of ice time in the second period. And now here's Nick Boyton turning back for Ottawa, has his head up looking for an outlet pass, throws it high off the glass, knocked down by Bertrand. Now Glenn Crawford has it for Belleville. Here's Derek Campbell behind the net. Now Seamus Connick will stop it up. Here is Campbell off the boards for Gustafson. Too far for him. Now Bertrand will control for Belleville. Bertrand falls down. He gets up in a hurry, and now he slaps it out across the blue line. Taken there by Glenn Crawford. He feeds Cheechoo. He will wind one up off the toe of Connick. Now Patton In the corner, intercepted by Brian Campbell. Campbell's clearing attempt, knocked down by Crawford, and a penalty will be called against the Ottawa 67's as Campbell heads to the bench for the extra attacker for Belleville. Bertrand controlling, back to Padden, back over to Rick Bertrand. Bertrand up through center ice for Reddy. Reddy will take it back for Belleville. Reddy takes a skate with it. He eludes Bell and then Davis, and it's finally touched up by Ottawa with almost 7 minutes to go here in the second period.
And I'm pretty sure Brian Campbell's taking his second penalty of the game as he hauled down his man after the bad giveaway. And see, by putting the pressure on, this is what I said Belleville could do. If they could put the pressure on, great shot by Jonathan Cheechoo, big save by Kotick. If they can put the pressure on the defense, hit Brian Campbell, Nick Boynton as often as they could. Nick Boynton and Brian Campbell are moving the puck faster than they like to move it. They usually like to take a few strides with it or look for a lane. And you see they're taking the lanes away, taking the outlet passes away. And Brian Campbell was forced to try and flip it up in the air to clear the zone, and he blew the pass.
Zion off the boards and down the ice. Campbell stops it up. Jonathan Cheechoo will take it for a skate behind his own net. Now Cheechoo starts out as they wind up this power play for Belleville. In across the line. Backhanded in there by Baker. Baker at the sideboards. He has Papineau all alone in front. Couldn't feed him the puck, and now Tessier will clear it down the ice for Ottawa. Stopped up by Campbell. Randy Rowe back to pick it up. Rowe stops up behind his own net. He will feed the curling Papineau. Now Papineau across the blue line. Long pass for Cheechoo. Cheechoo cutting in, kicks it up. Cheechoo tries to go upstairs. Kotick got the shoulder on it. And now here's Baker. Baker working it down low. Reddy is also there. Baker skates towards the front of the net. They feed it to Baker. Scores! Baker from Reddy. And this game is all knotted up on the give and go between Ryan Reddy and Kevin Baker.
And it was just some good hard work and a little bit of holding that helped Belleville get this one to work. As Jonathan Zion, who's in the corner, was held to the boards by Cheechoo. And not allowed to return to the play. There's Zion being dumped by Cheechoo, so he pulls Cheechoo down. And Gustafson allows Baker to skate in. And you can't let a man go to the front of the net like that. Watch Gustin. Gustin's supposed to have Baker. And he just lets him go. He doesn't realize that the two defensemen are already in behind the goal line and out of the play. And if Gustafson had known that, he probably would have gone to Baker, but he didn't. Let Baker go, expecting someone else to be there. Only Tessier was there, and he was covering the point.
Derek Campbell and Jacobs. Campbell wanted to fight Jacobs. They were talking things over as they were going to drop the puck. And Campbell dropped his gloves. Jacobs didn't. But we got a quick whistle anyway.
And that's a good call. Good going. Ian Jacobs showing some good composure. And Ryan Reddy's furious. But Al Kelly's going like, how can you not call it both ways? Well, it's pretty easy. One guy dropped the gloves, one guy didn't. And that's what made the difference to Al Kimmel. He said, we saw him, you didn't see it on the screen there, but take a look at Robinson, who's sitting. But Reddy was asking for an explanation. Al Kimmel showed his hands and dropped them both down as if to motion. He dropped the gloves. What else do you want me to call? He dropped the gloves and nobody else did. And that's been one of the better players on the ice too, number 37, Derek Campbell.
So another power play for Ottawa. And they're going to try and go ahead by one on this power play. Davis with Bell and Zoltek are out there for the power play for Ottawa. Goes behind the net. Bertrand chops at it. Can't get it past Davis. Davis behind the net for Bell. Now it comes high and down the ice. Kotick will stop it up, but Ryan Reddy, look at this, a big head of steam. And he makes Kotick play it behind his back and around the boards. Reddy is still the first man on the puck. So lots of hustle for Ryan Reddy on this shift. And now here is Campbell turning back for Ottawa. Here is Boynton. Reddy will go off as he's done a lot of skating on this shift already. Now Davis will wrap it in behind the net, stopped up by Campbell. Now Padden goes off the glass and down the ice, and this could be a break for Papineau. Papineau one-on-one on Boynton. He'll shoot one off the cage of Kotick. He's down and he's hurt, maybe stunned a little bit. Kotick gives it over to Campbell, and now Kotick finally gets up. And Bell is tripped as he goes down the ice, and an icing call against Ottawa. Seamus Kotick is shaken up, and he is taking a moment here.
He's holding the stick backwards. I don't think he knows it. I think you're right. He got his bell rung. He took that one up in the melon. And he doesn't realize he's got his stick backwards. Now he realizes it. And I'm not too sure Seamus Kotick knows where he is. Look at this shot. Boom. Well, it may not have hit him in the head. It caught him in the shoulder and gave him a stinger.
Well, Kotick stays in the game, and now Rowe on the draw for Belleville. Puck comes to the side of the net, and Kotick still a little bit flimsy with that right shoulder. We'll have to wait and see if that affects his play. Lawmaster tried to stand Zion up, but Zion was having no part of that. Now Campbell behind the net. Tuden intercepts. Comes back to Tessier. Oh, excuse me, that's Gustafson. Now Tuden over to Tessier. Tessier on the sideboards trying to set Gustafson up for the one-timer. Pass deflected at the last moment. Now here's Zion over to Tessier. Back to Brian Campbell. Campbell will tee one up. Tipped by Tuden. Nice stop by Campbell. And now here's Lawmaster all the way down the ice, and Kotick is out to play it. First man on the puck is Rowe for Belleville. A backhander around the boards for Campbell. Cheechoo is on top of him, and now he'll leave it for Dan Tuden. Tuden right back to Brian Campbell. Cheechoo finishing his check, and now through the center ice zone, but intercepted by the Belleville Bulls' Kelly Patton. He will dump it in, and now here comes Brian Campbell. Campbell to Gustafson. Gustafson will dump it in cross corner and go off on a line change. So Galbraith is out there. Campbell will have to hurry back. He knocks it down with a high stick, leaves it for Crawford, shoots and scores!
Well, the Belleville side making a lot of noise, making more noise definitely than the 67's fans. As after killing the penalty, they come back to full strength. And it's a giveaway by the defense. Beats Seamus Kotick up to the far corner. And it's Cava knocking that puck down. And still, that was just a mental lapse defensively as Ottawa gave up the odd man situation. You saw a 3-on-2 develop. Cava tried to knock it down, but he didn't have the speed going backwards, as did Nick Boynton, to stop Belleville's attack.
Here is McLean getting a rare appearance. Zoltek off the boards, comes back to Patton. Patton throws it right through. Tried to be deflected. Now Crawford looking for goal number 2 on this shift. Here's Radovojevic. Radovojevic back to Crawford. Crawford throws it off the back of the net. And here it comes to Davis. Davis tips it off the glass, comes out across the blue line. Now Derek Campbell out of the penalty box now. Kelly Patton up to Radovojevic. Radovojevic fires a high shot off the glass. Derek Campbell, the first man in there for Belleville. And now Justin Davis, as Papineau has it. Papineau throws it towards the front of the net. And now comes back to Lawmaster. Lawmaster will throw one through there. Papineau has a couple of whacks at it. And Kotick falls on top of that. Now we get all kinds of action behind the net.
Oh, and Matt Zoltek just crushed one of the Belleville players from behind. I think he's going to take a penalty for that. And Nick Boynton's coming to the aid of his goaltender, who got a couple of shots. And Nick Boynton's trying to inspire his team to do something, as the physical presence of the 67 side has just been completely absent from the second period. Belleville started hard, but now that they've got the advantage in scoring, they don't have to go as hard physically. It's up to Ottawa now to pick up the play. You know Nick Boynton's going to be sitting a couple of minutes, but it's a case of who's going to join him. And at this point, there's nobody from Belleville. Well, they've added Kevin Baker in there. Kevin Baker going after Boynton, and Bell's in there. And, well, Matt Zoltek got away with one. And Matt Zoltek came in from behind. Watch this. There's the shot. That's the second shot by Justin Papineau. And watch Zoltek right here. Boom! And that was right in front of Al Kimmel, and he didn't call that. I am really surprised Matt Zoltek didn't get to and give the man advantage to Belleville.
Number 23, Kevin Baker. And Ottawa number 10, Nick Boynton. 2 minutes each for a roughing. And 17 minutes, 1
Well, that's a good call. 2 minutes each for roughing. And Boynton's having words for Baker, and the person he wants really is Papineau.
Well, after opening up the game, out-shooting Belleville 14-2, Ottawa is now only out-shooting Belleville 20-18, and we got another penalty called against Belleville when they touch it up here. Lawmaster will let a shot go and then trips Tessier, so Lawmaster really getting involved there, and he's lucky that that didn't draw a crowd, shooting the puck after the whistle.
And Ryan Reddy takes his third penalty, his second slashing, and he's had 3 stick fouls, 2 slashings and a high stick. And Al Kimmel obviously cracking down on Ryan Reddy's use of the stick. He is notorious for that.
Let's send you downstairs to Howie Mooney to find out what's coming up in the second intermission. Howie?
All right, coming up, we've got a profile on Levente Zuper, and I'll be talking with assistant coach for the Belleville Bulls, Fred Boymestruck. That's coming up in the second intermission, guys.
Thanks, Howie. We know we haven't seen Jeremy Van Hoof back on the ice since that knee twinge. And we've seen Zion and Campbell and Boynton and Campbell with sporadic duty from Cava and McLean. So,
well, Jeremy Van Hoof is still on the bench for Ottawa.
He's on the end of it, unfortunately.
Well, if you can take any solace on that, the fact that he hasn't gone to the dressing room might be a promising sign as Campbell keeps it in for Ottawa. Now here's Tuden. Tuden circling back. Tuden is tied up and hog-tied by Campbell, and Campbell takes another penalty for the Belleville Bulls, and he will go to the box, giving Ottawa a 2-man advantage.
Dumb play by Derek Campbell. He was getting away with a lot, and Al Kimmel wasn't calling it. It was only when he hauled down the man. If he hadn't put his weight into it, he would have been fine. He can grapple him all he wants. Kimmel wasn't going to call that. Let's see if we have another look at it here. Watch Tuden when he spins around. Okay? So far, Campbell's all right. He's all right. He's all right. It's right there where he jumps on him and just causes Tuden to flatten. If he had stayed up and just tugged on him and gone for position, I bet you Derek Campbell would still be on the ice right now. Play would still be going.
Well, the way things are going, Ottawa has got to be careful for the even-up call that we've seen come so often. After one team gets a man advantage, the other team gets... The team on the power play gets a penalty very quickly. So Dan Tuden is out there along with Campbell. Zion is out there. So is Gustafson and Tuden. And the penalty killers for Belleville, Cheechoo, Rowe, and Lawmaster.
And there's a problem with the clock. The clock was showing 36 seconds left in the 2-man advantage. And of course that was incorrect, as Ryan Reddy only got a 1-minute penalty apparently.
And here is Dan Tuden. Tuden tipping it forward for Gustafson. Gustafson leaving it for Zion. And another penalty called against the Belleville Bulls. And here's Gustafson putting it forward. A smart play by Gustafson to turn the puck over. And now Belleville really in a lot of trouble with the referee.
And I'm sure they're not going to be happy about that. But, boy, there's been a lot of stuff in the first period that wasn't called that looked exactly like that. And all of a sudden, Al Kimmell's deciding to put things in control, and seeing that Ottawa's down 1, they're getting the extra penalties as they will have a sustained 5-on-3. And this is where Gustafson takes it. Watch Cheechoo. Oh, no, this is afterwards. This is when the penalty's already been called. And he's about to make the motion. We don't get to see that either. Unbelievable. I can't believe Belleville's trying to kill themselves like this, but they've been able to kill the penalty so far. They've only got 1 goal against them on the power play and 10 opportunities.
Here is Gustafson off the boards to Tessier. Back to the blue line for Zion. Zion will tee one up. Tipped on the way through. Couldn't get in there. And now here is Tuden. Stopped by Papineau. And down the ice it comes. And the net came off the moorings, so we'll get a whistle.
And Al Kimmel didn't know the net was off, and Dan Tessier went straight to Al Kimmel, and he's like, the net's off, we want the time with the man advantage, call it. And Kimmel didn't know what he was talking about, and he looked, and then he saw, and there was about good 5-6 seconds that elapsed.
And don't forget to get your tickets tonight for upcoming playoff games. Tickets will be on sale.
So there are 4 Belleville Bulls in the penalty box right now. As play resumes, you got to look at the Belleville penalty killing efficiency. Here's Zoltek with a shot off the side of the net. Now comes to Zion. Zion backhands it. Here's Bell. Bell will work it behind the net. 2 men on top of him for Belleville. Now comes back to the blue line for Campbell. Campbell will waltz right in, shoots. Tipped by Davis. He sets up in his office. Couldn't get to go. And now here's Papineau. Back to the blue line. Zion controls for Ottawa. Throws it in the corner. Zoltak will have it. Now Zoltak being watched. Drops it back to Campbell. Campbell back to Zion. Zion to Zoltak. Zoltak threaded the needle on an earlier power play. Now here's Campbell. Back to Zion, over to Zoltak. Zoltak shooting. Top shot. Scores!
Well, that brings some life back into the Ottawa Civic Center. Holy jumping Jehoshaphat. Matt Zoltak, the sharpshooter. Look at this goal. Booyah, off the post. He rang the iron. Jeremy Irons, where are you? Brian Campbell and Jonathan Zion are going to pick up assists on that, as both of those guys now have 2 points, as does Matt Zoltak. And there's still 40 seconds left in a 2-man advantage.
And here is Campbell over to Gustafson. Gustafson leaves it for Zion. Zion will carry it in. Zion back to Tessier. Tessier over to Campbell. He'll shoot one. Hit off a shin guard. Goes to the corner where Tessier's right on top of it. Back to the point for Zion. Over to Campbell. Here's Zion again. Zion down low for Gustafson. And back to the point it comes to Brian Campbell. Campbell looking for it. Comes back to Zion. Zion to Tessier down low. 9 seconds remaining in the 2-man advantage. Campbell will shoot one. Tipped on the way through by Tootin. Stopped by Campbell. Now here's Tessier. Tessier back to Zion. Now Tessier has it. John Zion will shoot one off the shin guards of Glenn Crawford. 1:15 remaining in the power play. Here's Zion. Here comes Tootin in across the blue line. Tootin going cross ice for Gustafson. Back to the blue line and Campbell. Campbell looking for Zion. Zion has it now. Zion will shoot one, blocked at the defense, and now Tessier has it. Tessier on the sideboards, and that's the end of the second period. Still 53 seconds remaining in the power play for Ottawa.
And Dan Tessier is so frustrated. After a power play goal and 2-man advantage, he whacked the stick off the boards. He knows that they should have more on the power play. Belleville has successfully killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 power plays.
3-3. We've got 20 minutes left to decide this one, or possibly overtime. We'll be back with the second intermission as OHL Prime Time rolls on from the Ottawa Civic Center.
Welcome back to OHL Primetime. We're joined now in the studio by the assistant coach of the Belleville Bulls, Fred Boymestruck. And Fred, this is becoming an all-too-regular thing now here in Ottawa.
What, back between the second and third?
Back between the second and third intermissions.
Great.
Every time you're here,
I love being
good things happen for Belleville. Yes. And right now tied 3-3. What kind of a game do you see it as?
The kids started out slow. They've been off for a while, and they come back in the second and start to react. But unfortunately, the penalties playing 5-on-3 against Ottawa's power play, you can't do it.
We were talking during that break. You guys have been off for 8 days. That's incredible.
Yeah, we were off, finished the series last Thursday in Sudbury, and it's been quite the chore trying to keep them focused for that period of time without playing any hockey.
That, I guess, explains why you guys were maybe slow starting in the first period.
That and some nervousness as well. It's a big series for the kids, and they know it, and to be up for it is a job the vets can handle, but some of the rookies are a little on edge.
Now, March the 19th, you guys were in here, and you said to me in these very chairs that it would be Ottawa and Belleville again in the second round. And was this something that everybody was sort of looking forward to in Belleville?
Yeah, we look forward to playing against Ottawa. It's unfortunately tonight score's tied 3-3, and if we can hang on these penalties, and it's going to be a good.
Certainly a better
period.
Second period for you than the first.
And the third is going to be a good hockey period if we can stay away from penalties.
Now, the 67's sort of asserted something when they had a 5-on-3, but I mean, you almost expect the team to do so when they have a 5-on-3.
Well, Ottawa's power play 5-on-3, you got to expect a goal. The way they move the puck around, 5-on-4, it's a real dangerous threat. The 5-on-3, it's almost a gimme. And is tough to defend against.
Now, you played for 2 Memorial Cup winners when you played in Cornwall in 80 and 81. I believe it was 80, 81.
Yeah.
Does this Belleville team, from your point of view, have what it takes to get there and win?
Yes, it's a team. It's a team game, and those 2 clubs I played with in Cornwall, you had your leaders, you had your Dale Howardchucks and your Dougie Gilmores, but you did have
Scott Arneal, Mark Crawford, Fred Boymastra.
You had a great supporting cast, so that really excelled in the rounds up to the Memorial Cup.
When you look at the players that played on that team, and then you look at the guys that a lot of them made it to the NHL, didn't they?
Yes, there's about 5 or 6 guys that played in the NHL, and we're just going through the record book the other day, looking back at some of the rosters, and there's quite a few names.
Tell us what you have to do in this third period.
Stay out of the box and let Mr. Kimmel alone.
All right, there you have it. Fred Boymastra, the assistant coach of the Belleville Bulls. We'll be back with the third period and more of OHL Prime Time right after these words, folks. Stick around.
So, you like hockey, eh? Then watch Face Off with the 67's. Get the scores, meet the players, and find out what's happening both on and off the ice with your Ottawa 67.
Welcome back to the Ottawa Civic Center, Game 1 of this Eastern Conference semifinal, where the score is all knotted up at 3 after 40 minutes. And Neil, the big story continues to be power plays for Ottawa.
Again, 2 out of their 3 goals in this game are on the power play. Belleville's done it even strength, and Ottawa had to match up at least even on even strength goals. And instead, Ottawa has been able to get 11 power play chances in the game so far. Well, they'll finish the 11th in the third period, but they've only scored 2 power plays. And to me, that was due to an inconsistency in the refereeing between the first and the second period, and Belleville got caught surprised, took a lot of penalties, and Ottawa finally was able to capitalize only with a 2-man advantage.
Well, the Belleville Bulls have done a great job penalty killing.
Yes.
Aggressive penalty killing by both Ryan Reddy and Justin Papineau.
Absolutely. The defensive side of things, their shorthanded situations have been great. On their power play, they're 0 for 4. I'm not stuttering. They're 0 for. That's just it. And if they can get a power play goal, look out, because that'll be the difference probably in the hockey game. So far, Ottawa holds the edge there.
Well, we saw the end of the score at the end of the first period. It was 2-1. Now it's 3-3. Let's take a look at the scoring summary.
Well, Belleville was off to the early start with Baker, Reddy, and Cheechoo. That one wasn't on the power play, although that's what it says. Belleville, Crawford, Radovojevic, and Padden at 16-10. Zoltek, Zion, and Campbell on the power play. And that was the only power play goal of that period. And we thought Zoltek might be up for play of the period, but not this time, Matt. You had one in the first. This time we're going to go to Glenn Crawford. The big giveaway, Chris Cava. Crawford steps up and just beats Turcotte clean as the penalty had expired. So even strength goal ends up as the play of the period.
Well, I wasn't here when you selected the play of the period, but I was almost certain that Matt Zoltek was going to be a 2-time winner of the play of the period, a rare 2-time winner. We rarely see that. And Matt Zoltek has wired 2 shots past Corey Campbell. Both of those power play goals, and the only 2 power play goals Ottawa has scored. And they remain on the power play here with 45 seconds remaining in the power play for them. It's Tessier, crosses center ice, dumps it into the corner. Kelly Patton is there first for Belleville. Around the boards it comes. Here's Boynton, and now we get an even up call as Gustafson will go to the box, I believe, for dumping one of the Belleville Bulls in the corner.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's a 2-minute tripping call, and it was pretty plain to see. And Al Kimmel didn't miss the opportunity to even things up. And in essence, Belleville will get their 5th power play, which hardly compares to 11 by Ottawa. As we'll take a look at it, watch to the left of your screen. That's pretty straightforward. This time, instead of taking a penalty, Ryan Reddy draws one. As he's been on the score sheet in all kinds of capacities with 3 penalties and an assist so far in this game.
Well, in the second intermission, I was walking in the hallway here and walked right by the Belleville box, and one of their assistant coaches, I believe, came out and said, that's playoff officiating, and then he said a couple of words that I can't repeat on television, so they're certainly not happy with the way things have gone thus far this evening.
Well, I can tell you something. When you're a coach or a player on any team, doesn't matter how badly you're playing or whatever, if you get an uneven amount of power plays or penalties against you, you don't like the ref. That's just the emotion of the game. But I'd have to say that they might have had a bit of a case in this instance.
Here is Lawmaster working over Bell. Comes back to the blue line, not out, kept in by Cava. Cava around the boards. Lawmaster behind the net it goes. And now here's Lawmaster. Skating out across the blue line he comes, now across the red line, dumps it in the corner, comes behind the net for Kotick. Kotick stops it up around the glass he goes, and it comes back to Jacobson. Now the Bulls are on the power play for the next 122, the remainder of Gustafson's penalty, and now Lawmaster will go back and pick it up. Lawmaster slow behind his own net. He'll stop there for a moment as they complete a line change, and now here is Ryan Reddy. Curling back instead, Lawmaster goes to Jacobson. They try and hit Reddy on the cross-ice feed, but Tuden is there first, and he ices it down for the Ottawa 67's. Now Lawmaster behind his own net. Reddy will curl and receive the breakout pass, crosses the blue line, now across the red line, into the corner. Behind the net is Kotick. Around the boards it comes. Ryan Reddy keeps it in. Now Baker tries to go right back to Reddy. Now Reddy in the corner on the right wing boards. Down low to Baker. Baker behind the net. He goes to Papineau. Rowe was creeping in from the blue line. Now spinning right in front. Reddy with a chance to put Belleville up by 1. But he couldn't bury it, and now comes back to the blue line for Rowe. Here's Cheechoo. His pass intercepted by Tuden with 23 seconds remaining in the Gustafson penalty. Tuden across the blue line. Dan Tuden stops up on the sideboards. Goes all the way back for Brian Campbell. Campbell will go back to chase it up. He'll have some time. Takes it behind his own net. Under 10 to go in Gustafson's penalty. Off the board. Stopped up by Cheechoo for Belleville. He will go around for a skate. Throws it off the crossboards, and now here is Gustafson. Hits off his shin guard as he comes out of the box. Tessier tries to feed him, cutting through the neutral zone. Campbell is there. Tuden is also there for Ottawa. And now Cheechoo will make some moves on Gustafson. Now Tuden turns it back for Ben Gustafson. Gustafson all alone. Leaves it there, goes to the bench. Now Cheechoo turns it back for Belleville. Cheechoo on the return pass. Throws it out to center ice. Stopped by Campbell. Up to Lance Galbraith. Galbraith then across the line. Galbraith fakes the shot. Now throws it down low for Talbot. Up high. What a save by Campbell.
Whoa, what a great move by Lance Galbraith. As he gets a nice fake to draw one of the Belleville players sliding across in the best Zamboni impersonation I've seen in a long time. And then Talbot makes a nice move to get to the middle and backhand. Now watch this. So see how much of it we have. And here's something you don't see very often. Number 11 missing a large piece of cage to shoot at. Ryan Reddy should have had that one, but watch this. Talbot on the backhand. I think that was missing the net, actually. From that angle, it looked like that might have been going wide of the net. Corey Campbell wheeled it in anyways.
Here is Derek Campbell. Derek Campbell off the boards. Campbell taking a couple of undisciplined penalties for Belleville in the second period. And now here comes Matt Zoltak, who's been very accurate with his shots here in this game with 2 goals already. Here's Crawford, who had a pretty nice goal himself in the second period, knocked down by a high stick at center ice. That was Ranovojevic, and we'll get a stoppage in play with 16:45 to go.
Well, Justin Davis is having himself a pretty strong playoffs. You may agree or may disagree with that, but the point is you can have your save. 728-2200, the viewer response line, 728-2200.
Konopka, DeLille, and Alfredson matching up against Newbury, Robinson, and Renzi. And here is Collins. Collins over to Paulicelli, off the boards to Nathan Robinson. And here is DeLille. DeLille goes off the boards. Slapped at by Boynton. Now here comes DeLille. DeLille, Alfredson streaking towards the net. Couldn't make a move on his defenseman, Nick Policelli. Now it comes to Newbury. Konopka in there to try and knock that pass down. It comes instead to Nathan Robinson for Belleville. Now here's Collins. Collins off the boards and into the Ottawa zone. Back to go get it is Boynton. Around the boards he goes to DeLille. Now Konopka has it in his skates, kicks it up to Alfredson, and goes down in the process. Now Alfredson dumps it in. DeLille, Alfredson, and Konopka will be called to the bench. And now here is Collins. Collins off the boards to Robinson. Robinson to Policelli. Policelli out across his own blue line. Now Tootin with a bit of a break here. Tootin unable to break free, knocked down by Collins. No penalty called, and now here's Newbury. Newbury in across the blue line. He'll shoot one. Kotick makes a pad save on that. Now Campbell will take it behind the net. Brian Campbell. Dan Tootin missed that pass. Comes out to Lawmaster at center ice. He's bodied by Tessier. Tessier tied him up enough. And now it comes to Chaplin. He gives it over to Randy Rowe. Here's Rowe in across the blue line. Rowe will throw it forward for Radivojevic. Radivojevic. And Galbraith ties him up in the corner. Now here's Glenn Crawford, or excuse me, that's Randy Rowe, backhanding it down low for Radivojevic. Radivojevic back up top for Jacobson. Jacobson with a shot tipped on the way through by Chaplin. Throws it out front, nobody home for Belleville. A good chance for the Bulls, but it comes down the ice. And this will be icing against the Ottawa 67's as Jacobson chutters it up.
Well, Randy Rowe showing the style of play that Belleville needs for him to be, and that is going in and making some good moves. But you know, you said Ottawa couldn't make the move around his defenseman. Why are they making this move? They haven't been able to make the move to the middle of the ice, and we know for a fact that they're faster than defensemen. They should be going outside on the Belleville defense and taking the puck deep, driving it deep like we said off the top. As you see an opportunity, that puck sitting there, and Galbraith doing a nice job of just making sure it goes to a 67, not a Belleville Bull, as Kotick wasn't really sure where it was.
Here is Cheechoo stepping into one from the line and stopped by Kotick. So Cheechoo has unloaded his cannon a couple of times tonight, and Kotick has been forced to make some good saves. And here is Campbell behind the net. Goes up to Davis. Davis backhands it off the boards. Comes to Derek Campbell. Now here's Kelly Patton. Tip forward into the Ottawa zone. Brian Campbell is there. Here is Matt Zoltek. Comes out across center ice. Handled by Bertrand. Zion will loft it high in the air. Knocked down by Davis. Davis tries to tip it forward for himself. Here's Bell with a shot. Goes wide. Campbell off the boards. Comes to Cheechoo. Cheechoo backhands it to center ice. Crawford tried to tip it forward for himself. Intercepted by Mark Bell. Bell has been shifty tonight. And here's Matt Zoltek. Zoltek dropping it back for Campbell. Campbell shoots one, tip by Davis. Bell scores! Woo!
That same line, it's the Bell, Zoltek, Davis line that make it happen. A good puck movement, and you were right, Bell had been shifty. That's a big goal. That's an even strength goal, and it gets them ahead. And some of the Belleville players are hanging their heads a little because they know that they've been bringing it to Ottawa. Unfortunately, Bell was left unattended. Off to Campbell's right. See, there's the puck. It just bounces off the boards, and it takes a 67 bounce. If that bounce doesn't get there, Bell doesn't get that shot. But he gets control because he anticipated the play, but Bell made no mistake on that play.
And here is Zion right off the draw, dumping it in for Ottawa. Lawmaster pushes it forward for Belleville. Comes to Baker. Baker and Tootin tie up on the boards. Comes back to John Zion. Now here's Papineau. He's dangerous. Over to Reddy. Back to Lawmaster at the blue line. Over to Jacobson. Jacobson fires one high and wide. Now Zion around the net. Here's Gustafson trying to tip it forward for himself. Now Zion goes behind the net. Ryan Reddy is there. Now Boynton around the boards. Gustafson tips it forward. Comes out across the blue line, and here's Lawmaster. Lawmaster circling back for Jacobson. Jacobson, his defense partner, being watched by Gustafson. Gustafson took a chop out of his stick. Now they throw it forward for Tessier. Tessier's onside. Tessier pummeled into the boards by Lawmaster. But Tessier, the Bulldog, keeps on ticking. And now here's Campbell forward for Tessier. He'll be the first man on it, and he'll take another hit from Lawmaster. Here is Reddy. Reddy back for Belleville. Reddy on a 3-on-2 rush for Belleville. Reddy will shoot one. Kotick stops it. Rebound is there. Nobody there for Belleville. Tootin tied up his man nicely. And now Dan Tootin has the puck in his skates. Throws it forward for Cava. Cava up to Gustafson all alone. Gustafson shoots one. Blocked by Collins. Campbell steers it to the corner. Now here's Lance Galbraith. Galbraith bodied by Newbury. These two went at it in an earlier contest. And the puck hops over the boards and into the Belleville bench with 12:33 to go.
Well, picking up assists on Mark Bell's goal were Brian Campbell and Justin Davis. As we're going to take a look, I think, at the opportunity. Belleville came down on a 4-on-2 and didn't capitalize. Here's Lawmaster doing a good job of putting the body to Tessier. And Tessier's that danger zone, anywhere from 3 to 5 feet from the boards. That was a 4-on-2 at one point. A 4-on-2, and that is not the best shot to take in a 4-on-2 situation.
Well, the way Reddy was reacting, you don't think he knew that he was on a 4-on-2 because he was kind of skating it up at a leisurely pace. And now here's Konopka in the corner with Newbury. Now Collins will take it behind his own net. Collins goes around, looking for somebody to go to. Skates around Konopka. Collins will circle back over to Policelli. Now Policelli across the blue line. Now here's Konopka. Konopka up to Alfredson. Here's Alfredson with a high shot, drifts to the corner. Now Miguel DeLille is in there. Konopka tips it forward for Ottawa. Takes a hit from Newbury. Now behind his net is Policelli. Policelli tied up by Konopka. He goes down and a power play opportunity for Belleville. When Ottawa touches the puck, DeLille drills his man into the boards. That was Nathan Robinson. And now a crowd gathers as Konopka tries to take somebody with him to the box.
Well, Miguel DeLille wisely picks up the intensity on the board work to try and draw a penalty to even things up. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Zenon Konopka gets called with a very soft penalty. And I think we got two more. Al Kimball's made another call. I think Nick Policelli just blew the power play by trying to do stuff in between whistles. Oh, Nick Policelli, if I were you, I would not look at the bench, not talk to the coach until, I don't know, Tuesday maybe?
Well, Lou Crawford, the head coach of the Belleville Bulls.
Here's Konopka wrapping him up. That's a penalty. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that call. It's questionable based on what he's called previous to this or not called, but it's still a penalty. It's against the rules to get called for it. And then Policelli did something away from play. We were watching the guys being escorted to the box, and somehow Policelli gets himself in the box as well. We'll have to, maybe we can catch it from Mike Ross when he makes the announcement. Here we go.
Number 2, Nick Policelli. 2 minutes for roughing, and to Ottawa number 20, Zenon Konopka, 2 minutes for holding at 8 minutes 17 seconds.
So obviously Policelli throwing a stick or a punch, and Al Kimball's not allowing Radovojevic back on the ice as he was trying to tie a skater or something there. And Al Kimball's adding insult to injury to Crawford, who may have been using it as a stall tactic.
And off the draw, Talbot wins it back to Boyton, who rings it around the boards. Galbraith is in there after it. Comes back to the blue line. Here is Boyton stepping into one. Campbell's right there. The rebound by Talbot scores!
Whoa! There's that even strength they needed. Give him some breathing room. But what a great play on the pick. Now, I thought picks were illegal last time I checked. But Al Kimball's not going to call the pick. And as a result, it's the big shot from the point. And I didn't know which defenseman took it. I think it was Boynton. But watch this. Good pick by Jacobs. It is Boynton. What a great shot. Handcuffs Corey Campbell. And Talbot gets 2 whacks at it because Lawmaster and Mark Chaplin decided to expect each other to take Talbot. See, Talbot, was on the transition. And Belleville thought they were going to get the puck out of the zone. And you got to finish the job. You got to know who's around you. Talbot just snuck in behind the net and went to the front. And they got the puck.
And Talbot's first point of the playoffs is a huge one as he gives the Ottawa 67's some breathing room here. And now here's Nick Boyton at center ice, who started that off with the big shot from the point. And now it comes down the ice. Cavill will touch it up. This will be icing against Belleville with 11:05 to go. in the third period.
Well, Nick Boynton and Lance Galbraith picked up assists on that. And Lance Galbraith, I think, deserves a point. He has worked extremely hard. Hasn't seen a lot of ice. But when he's been out there with Konopka and Talbot, they have been outstanding, doing their best against the flying line, rookie line. And we're seeing a change in the matchups here now, as Zoltek is going out with DeLille and Alfredson. They're trying to get Zoltek a little more skating room, maybe against the rookie line.
Comes back to Zion at the point. Zion's shot right on, steered to the corner by Campbell. And now here's Robinson as the wave starts up here at the Civic Center, and Alfredson will take it across the blue line. Alfredson, off-balance shot, trickled in there on Campbell. He paddled it to the corner, hits Kimmel on the way out, and DeLille scoops that up for Ottawa. Now comes back to the blue line for Cava. His low wrister is stopped. Now DeLille involved in a battle with Newbury. No penalties called, and now Robinson starts out for Belleville. Newbury goes to the bench, and now Robinson on the left wing. Robinson with a shot, trickles through, stopped by Connick, and it ends up in the corner, but Robinson has it on his stick again, and now here's Crawford. Crawford, his shot trickles in there, stopped up by Seamus Connick, and we'll get a stoppage in play.
Boy, Nathan Robinson is so fast. We saw Matt Zoltek, who's no slouch at the speed side of things, and he just blew away from Zoltek. Nathan Robinson can really move, but look at this. Alfredson, the puck just jumped at the last second on him, as he probably could have stepped in more, and Zoltek was taken down going to the net. And Kimmel takes it in the back. Now watch the move DeLille makes, and then he gets knocked down, and the puck is cleared out. Two guys colliding on him, and he loses his balance.
And here is Bell on the draw. He loses it cleanly. Now Lawmaster to the center of the ice surface, fires one wide. Here's Davis off the boards. Bell skating after it. It's picked up by Lawmaster. He spins around. Here's Derek Campbell. Campbell knocked down, and now Cava tries to hit Zoltek with a breakaway pass. Zoltek can't connect, and Campbell will fall on it for another stoppage in play. And Zoltek is knocked down.
And you can say bye-bye to Jason Lawmaster for 2 minutes. Jason Lawmaster just did one of the dumbest things he could have done in this game. His team is now going to be down a man again, as he, for some reason, just went and drove into Matt Zoltek. Matt Zoltek didn't do anything to the goaltender. He came close, yes. And the defenseman there, I think it was Patton, just drove Zoltek out of the way. There's nothing wrong with that. That was clean. Zoltek didn't do anything to goalie. He was skating away. Watch this. He's given a bump by Adam Collins. That's perfect. But watch this. Not even looking. And then Lawmaster just comes in, gives him a bump. It takes a lot more to knock Matt Zoltek down normally, but he wasn't ready for that. He expected a tap. Didn't expect to get hit.
And here is Tessier out there with Gustafson and Tuden for this power play. Here's Justin Papineau starting out for Belleville. Papineau and Reddy killing this penalty. Shot right on. Connick will stop it up. And he never had total control of that puck. And the Belleville fans are on the referee a little bit.
Well, they want something called like an unsportsmanlike conduct on that, but Papineau just, someone's talking to him obviously from the fans, from the seats here at the Civic Center. And Connick blew this. Watch this. He missed his play. He went to scoop it up, and he never got it. Look at that. If that whistle hadn't have gone, that was a huge gimme. Connick hasn't looked sharp since he got stung in that second period.
And right after getting stung, he allowed a goal over his shoulder, and that's what we believe was hit with that shot from Cheechoo. And now here's Tuden across the blue line. Tessier comes back in the Belleville zone. Gustafson trying to handle the loose puck, and now Boynton keeps it in. Comes out across the blue line. Boynton will skate back to pick it up. Backhand pass to Brian Campbell. Campbell fires it in. Here is Gustafson around the boards to Tessier. Tessier in after it. Dan Tessier back around the boards for Gustafson. Gustafson working on Bertrand. Gustafson still in the corner. It's in his skates. Now Dan Tuden will scoop it up. Up to Dan Tessier. Back to the blue line for Campbell. Over to Nick Boynton. Boynton back to the center ice surface for Gustafson. Tees up a one-timer. Campbell looked behind him, but he got a pad on it.
Yeah, and I think it's sitting right around his toes somewhere as he's looking for it. It might be in his pads, because the way he dropped too early. And there it is, stuck in his toe. That was neat. Well, the official attendance just being announced, 9,560. Very, very close to a sellout crowd here at the Ottawa Civic Center. And I'm sure you Belleville fans will be doing likewise down at your arena. I'm sure you're going to do your best to sell it out too, and I hope so, because you got a great hockey team. And I love watching these two teams go head-to-head, and I might even come down and pay you a visit on Saturday.
Well, among the 9,560 on hand, 2 of those are my parents who are enjoying the game here. Here's Nick Boynton, shot right on, rebounded by the Ottawa 67's, and here's Glenn Crawford breaking out for Belleville. Zion, here's Crawford. Crawford will go for a skate. Crawford across the red line. And here is Davis. Davis taking it back behind his own net. Here's Justin Davis up to Mark Bell. Bell back to Davis as they work the power play. Here's Mark Bell coming in for Davis. Davis couldn't tip it. And now here's Zoltek. Zoltek back to the blue line. Nick Boynton keeps it in, but Crawford was looking for a breakaway pass at center ice. They couldn't connect, and now here's John Zion. Galbraith getting some power play time here with 13 seconds remaining on the power play for Ottawa. Galbraith knocks it down at the blue line. Radovojevic will break out for Belleville. He's working on Brian Campbell. Campbell being hooked by Radovojevic as he scoops it behind his own net. Here's Rowe. Rowe back down low for Radovojevic. Comes back up top. Radovojevic down low. Now Padden will take it behind the net. He drops it for Randy Rowe. Rowe spinning on Talbot. Now Rowe with one hand on his stick. Tipped forward by Talbot up to Galbraith. Now he hits Jacobs. Ian Jacobs will throw it into the corner and he'll race in after it. In there is Bertrand. He misses it. Now Jacobs takes a hit from Newbury. And now it comes out across the blue line. Brian Campbell will handle for Ottawa. Over to John Zion. He's across the red line, and so he will dump it in deep into the Belleville zone. Big hit by Jacobs in the corner there. I'm not sure if he got all of his man, but made a big sound, and the fans certainly appreciated that. Now Campbell tying up Newbury. Newbury had to dump it in. Belleville making changes. Now it comes to Talbot. He misses that pass. Tipped by Baker. Now Galbraith knocks Baker down. So Galbraith sending Baker down in a heap, and Galbraith goes to the bench. Baker takes his number. Here's Renzi skating in across the blue line. Comes back to Jacobson, but he missed it. And now a penalty called behind the play as Jacobson touches up. And I didn't see what happened there, but I believe the goaltender was involved.
Yeah, you ought to believe the goaltender was involved. He was standing outside the crease, and Baker ran him over. And the defense looked at each other, and they said, "Who did it?" Like they didn't even know what happened. Let's see if we have this on tape. It's behind the play, way behind the play. Oh, there's the big hit by Galbraith. Oh, that's the same guy I think that did it, Kevin Baker. And yes, it is. Watch this. It's off to the right of your screen. It's right here. Oh, okay. Never mind. Trust me, Seamus Kotick got absolutely leveled by Baker, who had been leveled by Lance Galbraith. So Baker, rather than looking for Galbraith, decides to look for Kotick. You think? I don't think Seamus was expecting it. I know I wasn't.
And here is Bell on the draw, wins it back to Galbraith, or excuse me, Campbell. Here is Zoltek. Everybody's got Galbraith on their mind here at the Civic Center.
Everybody was offside on that. I think just Brian Campbell and Nick Boynton were the only guys that weren't offside. Davis was over, and I think Zoltek almost was over on his own, even though he was carrying it. And for sure, Bell was over by about 3 or 4 strides. So Miller and Nansen talking it over. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe just getting their assignments straight.
Here is Bell on the draw. One back to Crawford. Off the glass it comes and down the ice. Seamus Kotick leaves it for Campbell. Now Campbell thought about going behind his own net. He's being watched by Cheechoo. Now it comes to Nick Boynton. Over to Justin Davis. Crisp pass to Zoltek. Zoltek throws it forward for himself. He's being hooked up by Padden. He's knocked down. Now it comes back to Campbell at the blue line. Campbell keeps it in for Zoltek. Now Cheechoo shoots at the length of the ice for Belleville. Going back to touch it up is Kotick. He leaves it for Campbell. Campbell will set things up. Crawford and Cheechoo are the penalty-killing forwards for Belleville. Here's Bell up to Tuden. Tuden in across the line. Dan Tuden will skate behind his own net, or behind the Belleville net. Tuden back to Brian Campbell. Campbell Down low to Dan Tuden. Back up top to Boynton. Boynton thought about a shot, had an open lane, elected to try a pass for Mark Bell. It didn't work out. Now here's Campbell with it. Campbell over to Boynton. Boynton goes to Bell. Bell will backhand it into the corner. Dan Tuden is there. Comes back up top to Bell. Over to Nick Boynton. Loads up a one-timer. High off the glass. And here's Dan Tuden. Comes back to Boynton at the point. Boynton over to Campbell. Campbell finds Bell. Bell takes it on his backhand. Now Bell will shoot one. Campbell hangs on.
Good puck movement by the Ottawa 67's. And it looked like Rick Bertrand just landed on Corey Campbell. Corey Campbell's a little shaken up after that. Ottawa looking very strong on this power play. Look at this good reception of the pass on the backhand, and then just throws it at the net. And watch Bertrand loses a footing. I don't know how he did it. Let's see. Keep watching. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Looks like he just got a tap, and he couldn't keep his balance, and he lands on Corey Campbell.
Here is Zion down low and an injured Belleville Bull. So we'll get it whistled up. That's Lawmaster.
Yeah, you don't see this too often where a player on the opposition, or sorry, a player on the that goes down on the ice and his team doesn't have the puck and the referee blows it dead. You don't see that very often. And I credit Al Kimmel. Lawmaster doesn't go down easy. In this case, he went down and went down hard. I don't know if he took the puck in the face or a stick in the face or something. We'll see if we have it for you, folks. And here it comes. What does it say? Survey says. Yeah, we don't know. I didn't see it. Did you? I saw Lawmaster go down. That was it.
That's basically all I saw as well, though we saw Gustafson skating away. And I'm not sure if his stick got up.
Could have been it. Could have been his own stick in the traffic that was there. Could have been the winger's stick taken off on the side. That's the problem. I think it caught him in the eye, and that's the unfortunate part. And I credit Al Kimmel with blowing this dead. I really do. Not only is he preserving the man advantage for Ottawa, he's also making sure that the injury is taken care of immediately. That's a great call by Al Kimmel.
So Lawmaster goes to the bench. Let's go downstairs to Howie Mooney to find out what's going on OHL Prime Time.
We don't have time. All right, our next broadcast on OHL Prime Time will be tomorrow night. It'll be a tape delay. The game will be at 11 o'clock. That'll be tomorrow night, April the 3rd. Guys?
Thank you very much, Howie, and I've got to say that was the best throw of my career. And here is Gustafson, down low to Dan Tuden. And Tuden trying to put it towards the net. Here's Papineau. Ryan Reddy puts it forward. Here's Papineau down the right wing. Justin Papineau looking for a loose puck, backhanded forward by the Ottawa 67's. And now here's Tuden, goes cross ice, intended for Tessier. We're at even strength right now, under 5 minutes to play. Ottawa holding on to a 2-goal lead, and now Gustafson looking for a loose puck in the skates of Justin Papineau. Gustafson tries to hit Tessier. They're at the end of a long shift. Galbraith intercepting a pass. Galbraith wires one right on. He'll go for another shot. Fires one high off the glass and out of play. Lance Galbraith can really fire that puck, and he showed it there.
He's one of the guys I love to see, and I've always said this all year long. I've said I'd like to see Lance Galbraith shoot more, and that's why. Did you see him wire that second shot? That is a tough shot to make, but he got all of it. Look at this shot. This is a good shot, the first one, but look at the huge rebound it causes, and then he labels one for the corner, and unfortunately just gets up on him, and away it goes. Lance Galbraith just hammering the biscuit.
Here is Jacobson for Belleville. Jacobson across center ice. He will throw it into the corner. Belleville has all men on deck now on offense. They need 2 goals in the next 4 minutes and change as Talbot trips over the puck. Now Radovojevic is laid into by Lawmaster. So Lawmaster having a rough couple of minutes here. Steps into Talbot, and now Jacobs will take it behind the net. Jacobs, long reach, looking for that self-pass, and now Lawmaster has it off the boards. He throws it off the boards, eludes Galbraith, who was looking to take his head off, and now here is Campbell with it. Campbell circling back in his own zone. Off the boards it comes to Galbraith. And now Galbraith will skate across the blue line, backhand it in, and go off on a line change.
Ian Jacobs leveled 2 guys on the boards on a nice squeeze play to stop that Belleville attack. Smart play on that shift by Ian Jacobs.
And now it comes to Newbury. Newbury will skate with it for Belleville. He loses it to Zoltek. Zoltek will backhand it into the Belleville zone. Stopping it there is Campbell. Now here is Newbury with it. Newbury will skate behind his own net. Newbury around the boards, fans on his pass attempt. Intended for Derek Campbell. And now here's Bell. Bell has it stolen off his stick by Collins. And now here's Collins out across the blue line, across the red line. And Collins across the blue line, but will get a penalty called here, or was it offside?
Just an offside. Al Kimmel never raised his arm, and that was a make-up no call, if you will. Because Mark Bell was punched in the back of the head. I didn't see who did it. I think it was Derek Campbell who might have done it. And then coming back the other way, Bell's a little ticked, so he flips Newbury's stick out of his hands. And it might have been Newbury. Take a look here. There's a Lance Galbraith shot again. And not exactly sure what we were looking at, but, that was good footage of the game anyways.
We were looking at the fine skating stride of Jacobson, the defenseman for Belleville.
Who was hurt earlier.
Now here's Boyton out to the line. Collins with a high shot, misses off the glass, and now here's Padden back at center ice. Throws it into the Ottawa zone, and here's Nick Boyton. Delayed offside on Belleville. Nice hard pass to Zoltek on the left wing. Around the boards it comes, and Campbell touches it up for Collins. We're under 3 minutes to play. Cheechoo back to Collins. Collins across the red line. He'll step into one, fired around the boards. Kotick couldn't get a touch on that. Now Cheechoo has it go high off the glass, and now Zion is there for Ottawa. Comes around the boards. Tuden tries to get it out. Lawmaster keeps it in for Belleville. Now Lawmaster up to Crawford. Crawford has a goal for Belleville here tonight. Mark Bell will try and get it out. Kept in by Cheechoo, but they ruled that it was offside with 2:12 to go here in the third period.
Something we didn't mention about the second and first period is the shots on net. And Ottawa outshot Belleville in the first 16-8. In the second, Ottawa was outshot 12-7. And there you see now Ottawa is up by 10 again, so they have outshot Belleville 13-8. So Ottawa dominating the shots in the first and third, but in the second is when they had 7 power plays, and 2 of them were 2-man advantages. And they only got 6 shots total.
So here is Campbell taking it behind his own net. Zion, now Gustafson will chop at it. Papineau spins and fires one, tipped in by Reddy, scores!
Oh, that's a huge goal. Now pulling the goalie in the last minute makes a big difference. Instead of trying to get 2, you've only got to get 1. And that's just a case of Ottawa not getting the job done and getting the puck out. They whipped it around the boards, but the winger tried to just throw it to the middle.
People who had gotten up to leave with under 2 to go, you can see them filing back to their seats as it's now 5-4.
Well, some of them are still going to leave early. Some Ottawa fans, I've never understood this, even at the Senators games. It's a one game and they're leaving with 5 minutes left.
And here is Lawmaster, throws it into the corner. Boyton goes in after it. He will chop it forward with 1:50 to go. No icing as Lawmaster's back to touch it up. He's watched by Tuden. Tuden will chase him behind the net. Now Tessier cuts towards the front of the net. Tessier couldn't get the pass from Tuden. Now Tessier back to the blue line, drops it off for Campbell. He'll throw it towards the net, knocked down by Jacobson. And now here's Papineau for Belleville. Cross ice, Baker passed for Reddy, tipped up by Boyton. Now Boyton gets it out across the blue line. 1:30 to go, under a minute 30 to go. Now here's Lawmaster up for Papineau. Backhanded into the Belleville zone. Lawmaster will go back to get it. No icing called, and now Lawmaster behind his own net. Here is Cheechoo. Cheechoo brings it up for Belleville. Now Cheechoo in across the line, wanted to tee one up, knocked off his stick at the last moment. Now Papineau right out in front. Baker scores!
Whoa! Out of the jaws of defeat, Belleville has snatched themselves at least an opportunity to win this game in regulation, when I think everybody here pretty much assumed Ottawa had the important first game. And again, it's a defensive breakdown as Baker is allowed to walk in on his own. Now you don't have to pull a goalie at all. Look out, folks. Overtime is looming large now. Big, big goal.
Bell will face off against Glenn Crawford. And Bell puts it back to Boyton. Boyton up to Bell. Bell over to Zoltek. Zoltek tips it forward. Zoltek breaking in. He's dragged down. No penalties here as Kimmel has put the whistle away. Zoltek again behind the net. Now Bell is thrown into the boards. Now here's Campbell. Campbell, Boyton kicks it forward. Bell tried to keep it in. A lot of play in that high Belleville zone. And now here's Zoltek with a long pass. Throws it into the corner for Davis. Davis takes it behind the net. Justin Davis back to Boyton. Boyton puts one right on. Blocked at the defense. And now Crawford. Campbell and Cheechoo are up there. Here is Campbell for Ottawa, backhanding it to the corner. Derek Campbell tries a pass in front. 15 seconds to go. Zoltek lumbers forward, tries a shot off the skate of Padden. Now up forward for Belleville. Papineau will chase it into the corner. Under 5 to go. As time ticks down in regulation, the end of the third period, we're all knotted up at 5, and a stunned Ottawa crowd as Belleville has climbed back into this hockey game, and they're looking to keep their undefeated record at Civic Center intact.
Well, they did a good job of crawling back in the last couple of minutes. Just an incredible effort. And about 2,000 fans have left, and boy, they're going to miss a great overtime.
Well, they can hurry home and catch it on Rogers. We'll be back with the third intermission. I haven't had to say that at all this year, right here on OHL Prime Time.
Welcome back to the Ottawa Civic Center. We are into overtime in the first game of this conference semifinal between the 67's and the Belleville Bulls. We're joined in studio now by Zach Martin, who does a lot of the reporting for us here on OHL Prime Time, OHL This Week, and on Face-Off with the 67's. And Zach, is this any surprise that the two teams would go to overtime?
Well, what's less surprising is the fact that Belleville hasn't lost here yet this year. 2 wins and 2 ties. They won't tie tonight. That's for sure. We know that much, but. It's been an interesting game, kind of two different sides of the 67's. It started out on fire in the first period and then just sat back, relaxed in the second period, and finally desperation came through for them, but then again they fell back in their old ways and now it's tied up. Without
using any possible expletive deleteds, what do you think is being said right now in the 67's dressing room?
Well, you could just tell right as they left the ice, Lance Galbraith was bashing his stick all over the place saying, "Get it together, guys," because they just lost it. Inside 2 minutes, 2 goals, and Brian Kilrea's obviously not going to be happy with the team, considering they played well for most of the game.
Conversely, what do you think the mood is in the Belleville room?
They have to be very happy, because near the end of the game, they must have been thinking, we've lost this game, it's over, we just got to regroup and play well in Belleville, but they come back, 2 quick goals. Kevin Baker shows why he's on the #1 line with Cheechoo and Papineau and puts a key goal for them, and then they tie it up, and so they have to be very happy.
Baker, a little bit of a disturber as well out there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're running out of time, but we might see you after the this first intermission, the first overtime period. But until then, folks, we'll send you back to OHL Prime Time. We'll send you back to the action on the ice. We'll be back, though, after these words. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Ottawa Civic Center. We're in a position we didn't think we'd be in with 2 minutes left in the game as Belleville came back with 2 quick goals, and they are led by Ryan Reddy and Justin Papineau, 2 of their catalysts.
Well, you know, Ryan Reddy and Papineau had been awfully quiet. They've been kept off the score sheet from the goals point of view. And then all of a sudden, boom, they get a couple of goals in the last couple of minutes. And just when you thought everybody was packing up the gear and heading back into the dressing room, all of a sudden, wham, we got us an extra frame here. And I'm more surprised probably than anybody in the building, because I really didn't think Ottawa would allow Belleville to get into it. It's not the sort of play you expect from Brian Kilray team. They don't make that sort of mental mistake. I can just imagine the words.
Well, should Ottawa go on to lose this game, one of the key factors are the missed power play opportunities for the Ottawa 67's, 7 in the second period alone.
In the second period alone, they've got a total, I think, of 13 power play opportunities, although one was 7 seconds long. So it still counts officially. But still, you look at it and you say 12 real decent power plays. They had two man advantages, and they only scored on one of those. Like, you got to put the puck in the net, and Belleville's very lucky that they weren't down more than they were, and they still managed to get all tied up.
Well, as overtime inches closer, let's take a look at the third period scoring summary.
Well, as we mentioned, Ottawa got off to the early start. It was 5:56 when Bell got it from Campbell and Davis in a great play. And then at 8:30, Talbot, Boynton, and Galbraith connected. Galbraith with a huge couple of shifts in the middle of that frame. But then Belleville from Reddy and Papineau, and Belleville from Baker, Papineau, and Cheechoo. And Cheechoo was held off the score sheet too until that point. Essentially, and look at the move. Cheechoo just throws it towards the corner, and he gives chase. Dumps it behind the net. Thrown out front by Justin Papineau, and Baker is there. And Baker, for no doubt in my mind, is the play of the period. Let's go OT style.
Well, Tessier, Tuden, and Gustafson are all out there for Ottawa. Both #1 lines are out there as this is thrown in offside. Just 6 seconds in, we get a stoppage in play.
Well, at least the first shift going good now so far.
Well, for Belleville, they're the team with all the momentum heading in here, and Ottawa losing a lot of the crowd as they have thinned out, but some faithful have remained. And here is Nick Boynton as that one goes high in the air, knocked down by Padden. Bouncing puck handled by Tessier. Tessier cutting in. Bertrand tips it to the corner. Gustafson is in after it. Ben Gustafson has a stick tied up by Ryan Reddy. Comes out to Nick Boynton to the blue line. Boynton will shoot one right on. Campbell holds on. And we have the first shot of overtime.
Well, I don't think there's one Belleville fan that's left. And not surprisingly, it's probably because they're all part of the same bus. So they're going to be loud and boisterous, I'm sure, as they're all energized. They can always sleep on the bus on the way home anyways. Let's take a look at the Boynton shot. But see, no traffic. And you can't expect Corey Campbell to misplay that one while there's no screen set up in front of him.
Here is Bell on the draw with Crawford. Comes back to Boynton. Boynton will tee one up. Campbell with a pad save. Bell was milling around there looking for a rebound. His stick was tied up, and now here's an icing call against the Belleville Bulls.
Well, it's exactly what they have to do, is take all the shots. See, Nick Boynton knows what this game means, and he knows how to win an overtime game, and that is take shots, as many as you can, and hope that something happens. And that time the big rebound came out, but nobody was there for Ottawa to put it home. But Nick Boynton does a good job. Look at the shot he gets. Great blocking by the forwards to not allow the Belleville attackers to get up to the point. And the big rebound is cleared away and down the ice for icing.
Here's Zion pinching his man off nicely. Now it comes to Davis. Davis took a swat at it. Comes to Cheechoo. Tipped on the way through. Goes to the corner. Now Nick Boynton. Bodied by Derek Campbell. Long pass out to center ice. Zoltek working on Lawmaster. Zoltek is offside as he was fighting for position with Lawmaster.
Matt Zoltek's not happy about the call, but from my vantage point, it sure looked like the right call to make. As I said, Derek Nansen, a pretty solid referee. I know I gave him a bit of grief earlier, but still one of my favorites. Not that I have favorites, of course, when it comes to linesmen. As you see, Matt Zoltek clearly ahead of the puck, and he didn't have control. You can go ahead of the puck as long as you have control. He didn't have control. Great call by Derek Nansen.
So Talbot is out there. He'll face off against Chaplin. Rowe is also out there for Belleville. He is Belleville's leading scorer against the 67's this season with 12 points in 8 games. Here's Bertrand up to Chaplin. Off the boards and down the ice. Campbell will give chase. No icing. Now Brian Campbell turns around. Rowe is there. Off the side of the net. Campbell fell down right out in front. Radovojevic had a whack at it, but he couldn't pull the trigger. And now here comes Jacobs back for Ottawa. Jacobs. And it comes up to Chaplin. Chaplin off the boards to Radovojevic. Campbell will push his man off, and now here's Cava. Cava off the boards. Jacobs spins, tries to get it out across the line. Here's Bertrand. He puts it up for Baker, or excuse me, that's Radovojevic. He puts it in the corner for Belleville, and Jacobs off the boards. It comes out to center ice. Back to Jacobson. Jacobson skates out with it for Belleville. He'll dump it into the Ottawa zone. Kotick behind his own net. Now Cava goes back the other way. Nobody there for Ottawa. Tessier is there fighting ready. Tessier's knocked down. Now Galbraith taking a shift out on this line. Now he'll go to the bench at the end of a long shift. Now he'll go and take a piece of ready on his way to the bench. And now here is Campbell. Campbell circling with it. Tries to hit Gustafson. Goes into the Belleville zone. Tessier muscling Jacobs into the corner. Comes all the way down the ice, and Kotick will let it go. And this will be an icing against the Belleville Bulls.
And Lance Galbraith came off limping. It looked like he got stung. I don't know if he's got a shoulder stinger or a separated shoulder, or he took a bit of a butt end from from Reddy. Didn't really see it.
Now, Neil, who do you pick to score for the Ottawa 67's and the Belleville Bulls? Who are your favorites?
Well, I think Gustafson's really had some nice touch around the net, hasn't been able to capitalize. I'll take him on an easy pick. You can pick just about anybody. And I think our director is going to take Nick Boynton. And I'll get to the rest of it later.
Well, I was going to take Ben Gustafson, but now that choice seems unoriginal. So I'll have to come up with one in between now and the next whistle. And if they score in between then he's my pick. Here it comes off the boards to Davis. Comes across the ice to Zoltek. Zoltek still in his own zone. Tips it up for Justin Davis. Davis will dump it into the Belleville zone. Collins will go behind his own net. Now Patton will take it for Belleville up to Derek Campbell. Campbell up to Cheechoo. Cheechoo to Crawford. Crawford will spin around, leave it for Cheechoo. And now here's Justin Davis on a 2-on-2 rush with Zoltek. Davis and Zoltek across the blue line. Davis tries to lay it up for Zoltek. His pass doesn't click, and now here's Campbell off the boards for Belleville. Leaves it for Cheechoo. Now Glenn Crawford will roll it into the Ottawa zone and go off on the line change. Brian Campbell skates up with it over to Gustafson. Gustafson to Bell. Bell has Gustafson and Tuden on his wings. Now Bell goes off, and Talbot gets a shift with this line. And now here is Campbell going back to pick it up for Ottawa. Behind his own net, Campbell, as Talbot curls for the breakout pass. He won't get it. Chaplin is watching Campbell, and now Campbell's long pass intended for Talbot. And it's touched up by Talbot. Some good hustle by Joey Talbot to beat out the icing call. And now here's Randy Rowe breaking back for Belleville. Knocked down by Cava. And now here comes Talbot fighting for it. Talbot put Ottawa up 5-3 in what looked to be the insurance goal for Ottawa in the middle stages of the third period. And now here's Jacobs throwing it to an open wing. The only man there is Policelli for Belleville. He rings it around, and then Kotick stops it up. Campbell will drop it off for Jacobs. Reddy is out there, so you got to keep your head up if you're an Ottawa 67. And now here's Galbraith, Jacobs both going off. Gustafson and Tuden rolling over the boards for Ottawa. Here's Reddy with a shot right on, handled by Kotick. Can't handle the rebound. Now here's Renzi. Renzi dumped in the corner. Cava around the boards, comes out right to Bertrand. Bertrand will tee it up, blocked by Gustafson. Gustafson took a stick in the face, and a nice save by Kotick. But Ben Gustafson took a cross-check from Bertrand right in the chin.
Well, Gustafson showing that he's willing to sacrifice everything for the team as he puts the big slide on at the point. And Bertrand could have moved around, and Bertrand didn't have his head up. As Reddy brings it across the line, just throws it at the net. And the big rebound shouldn't have gone out like that. Kotick, I think, misplayed it. And then Cava throws it to the side. It took a funny bounce. And there's Gustafson, and as you said, there's the cross-check. And there's Kotick with the big glove. Kotick showing that he's shaken whatever webs he had from that injury, because that was a good save.
Well, I'm ready with my picks. Justin Davis for Ottawa and Derek Campbell for Belleville. Campbell has been mixing it up all game long for the Belleville Bulls.
Sure. Now, just because I stole your pick, you're going to steal mine. That's what I was going to take for Belleville. Jeez. I'll pick somebody else now.
Well, you talk about chemistry in the booth. We're second to none up here. Zoltek tries to get it out, and now here is Bell to Davis. Davis will roll it into the corner. Bell will give chase. Patton is back there. Bell touches up. So no icing against the Ottawa 67's. Davis is working hard down low, trying to get a loose puck. Now here's Cheechoo over to Campbell. Campbell loses the handle. And now here comes Davis. Davis up to Bell. Bell one-on-one with Lawmaster. Lawmaster closes him off and dumps him down. And now here is Cheechoo. Has the puck stolen off him by Zoltek. He's looking for Justin Davis. And here is Crawford. Crawford leaves it for Lawmaster. Lawmaster to Cheechoo. Cheechoo fires one just wide. So Jonathan Cheechoo trying to end this one early, and now here comes Talbot. Talbot stops up with the blue line. Talbot will fire one right on. Pad save by Campbell. Now it comes out across the line. Chris Cava will give chase for Ottawa. Just over 14 minutes remaining in the first overtime period. Here's Campbell. Campbell to Galbraith. Galbraith in after it. Spinning around and firing it off the glass and out across the blue line are the Belleville Bulls. Now Connick will stop it up. Cava has to hurry. He's chopped at by Radabojevic. Off the glass goes Cava. Out across center ice, and now backing up in his own zone is Jacobson. Here's Patton. Patton with a nice pass to Radabojevic. He'll tee one up. Connick with a blocker save. Chaplin with a rebound attempt. Couldn't get a stick on it. Now it comes out to center ice. Bertrand over to Patton to Chaplin. And now Radabojevic with a bit of a break to Randy Rowe. Rowe rolls one towards the crease, but Connick falls on top of it.
Oh boy, these teams are just going after it and putting all kinds of pressure on. Well, you gotta look at the likes of a Randy Rowe. I think I'll take him. He hasn't been on the score sheet at all tonight, and I think I like the way he's playing. He's always got a force to be reckoned with against Ottawa. And unlike you, I'm not picking someone who just came off in a line change. I'm picking someone who just left on a line change.
You got to get that edge. Now here's Tessier out there with Gustafson and Tootin. Gustafson puts it forward to the blue line. Not out. Kept in by the Bulls. Now Reddy is milling around in the corner. Baker takes a chop from Tessier. Puck remains free in the corner. Now Baker spins out of the corner with a shot. Reddy will fire one towards the net. Paddled to the corner by Connick. And now here is Papineau. Off the back of the net. Tessier was ready for that move. Tessier ties him up and knocks him down. And now here's Reddy. Spinning around, cycling the puck down low. Papineau looking for somebody in front. Throws it out in front. Tootin wrestles that rebound away and now dumps it out to center ice. Gustafson will give chase and finishes check on Lawmaster. Now it bounces into the Ottawa zone. Here's Boynton. And it comes up to Gustafson. Here is Papineau at center ice. And across the blue line, Papineau tees one up, deflected, goes high off the glass. And here is Gustafson in there with Tessier. Cheechoo has control of the puck. He tries to put it out front. Derek Campbell crashing in there with Tootin. Zion is also there. Cheechoo trying to get control of the puck for Belleville. Comes back to Patton at the blue line. Shot goes wide. Around the boards it comes. Gustafson can't get it out. This line has been on the ice for a long time for Ottawa. Now here's Cheechoo. Taken into the corner by Zion. Zion gives it up to Tootin. Tootin goes cross ice for Gustafson. Gustafson will chop at it and probably go to the bench. Ottawa gets a break as the puck hops up into the crowd, and we'll get a stoppage in play.
Well, Belleville that time was really out skating Ottawa to the loose puck as Ottawa was caught at the end of a long line change. Seamus Cox had to make some pretty tough saves as, again, Belleville out shooting Ottawa already. Ottawa's only had 3 shots so far. Belleville's had 7. Sorry, 5 so far. But I think Belleville's chances have been a lot better.
Talbot wins it back to Campbell. Campbell will drive it in for Ottawa. It's in the Belleville zone. Puck hopping around there. Lawmaster gets a stick on it. Around the boards for Radabojevic. Closed off by Joey Talbot. Talbot out there with Jacobs and Galbraith. And now here is Lawmaster around the boards. Lawmaster off the center ice, and now Galbraith with a break. Galbraith fires one off a skate, goes to the corner. Lawmaster rings it around the boards, kept in at the blue line by Cava. Now behind the net is Lawmaster. High in the crowd. Look out, somebody. 11:38 to go. Puck high into the crowd. And we'll get a stoppage in play.
Well, Lance Galbraith is really having an inspired game. And it's a result of the strong play by all the lines that Brian Kilroy is allowing Lance Galbraith to get some ice time in this overtime because he has been absolutely on fire. The emotional intensity of Lance Galbraith is something some of these other guys can pick up on. And Joe Talbot just came off, and he's given the whole bench an earful too. And it's not necessarily chewing them out, but it's just giving them some energy, as that line had a very strong, energetic shift. And as a result, the face-off and the play was all in Belleville's end.
And here's Tessier winning the draw back to Zion. Shot right on by Zion, handled by Campbell. Now here's Papineau up to Ryan Reddy. Reddy with a head of steam working on Brian Campbell. Stops up, spins out, and now throws it behind the net for Bertrand. Bertrand behind the net for Papineau. Tessier's there first, off the boards, and out to center ice over the stick of Padden, who is pinching in at the blue line. Now Baker off the boards to Gustafson. Gustafson tries the return feed to Tessier. Now it comes back into the Ottawa zone. Campbell off the boards. Chopped at by Gustafson. Down the ice it goes. Bertrand will go get it. No icing called. Bell, Davis, and Zoltek all over the boards for Ottawa. Baker backhands it off the boards and down the ice. The puck hopping all over the place. And here is Nick Boyton. Back pass to Campbell. Back over to Nick Boyton. He leaves it for Brian Campbell. Campbell with a high pass. Bell is cutting for it. He's working on Lawmaster. Bell trying to swim him. They throw down in the corner. Now here is Zoltek. Zoltek around the net. And on the ice is Lawmaster, injured once again with 10:37 to go.
And he went hard into the boards. I think he might have got slew-footed by Bell. And his head bounced off the boards. And that's got to stay. And it looked like he was out for a second because his whole arm just kind of relaxed and went down, and then he came back. Oh, I think he's winded. He got the wind knocked out of him. Watch how he hits. Watch Bell take the feet out. Right there. There's the slew foot. Bounce. And Ottawa had the puck. And here's another instance where Al Kimmel is deciding that the health and welfare of a player is more important than puck possession rules. As Zoltek was going around the net with the puck, and Al Kimmel blew things dead anyways, especially the way Lawson looked. He looked like he was unconscious. Again, I think Al Kimmel's doing the right thing there. Lawmaster so far has 4 points in the first 4 games in the series. Hasn't had any points so far in this first game. As he gets back up to his feet. Jason Lawmaster, 6 foot, 205, out of Westland, Michigan. Played for Plymouth and Belleville last year.
So Zoltek, Bell, and Davis will remain out there for Ottawa. Campbell and Boyton back on defense. And for Belleville, we've got Bertrand. Crawford is out there. Derek Campbell, along with Padden. Draw won by Crawford for Belleville. Campbell will scoop it up in the corner. Campbell spinning out of Mark Bell's watchful eye. Now Padden goes to the corner with the referee. Looked like he was going to run him into the boards. And now Cheechoo, as he dumps it down, Zoltek does for Justin Davis. Davis working with his feet, loses the puck. And now here come the Belleville Bulls out with it. Crawford, cross ice for Cheechoo. Cheechoo will tee one up. Shot right on. And now Derek Campbell was winding it up, but Boyton. And now here's Davis recovering the pass from Boyton. Davis dumps it into the cross corner, and peeling off is Brian Campbell. And now here's Glenn Crawford, cross ice to Cheechoo. Cheechoo across the blue line. Cheechoo will shoot it, goes high to the glass and to the corner. Handled there by Cheechoo. Campbell reaching for a pass in front of the net. Now Zoltek off the boards and down the ice. This will be an icing call against, no, icing waved off by the linesman Nansen. And now here's Lawmaster tipping it forward. Nick Boyton behind the back pass for Jacobs. Jacobs feeds Galbraith. Galbraith bringing it in, leaves it for Talbot. And now it's off the boards to Boyton at the blue line. Boyton will tee one up, and that's deflected off Rowe's shin and over the glass and out of play.
All right, Nick Boyton's so upset. He knew he had some time. He tried to get the shot away. And he's usually pretty good at getting those low shots through traffic, especially by the first guy. And that time Nick Boyton didn't do it, and Rowe felt it. And boy, what a shot. Is that Rowe? Is that Chaplin? Both of them are limping. I don't know what happened to Chaplin. Rowe blocked the shot. What happened to Chaplin out there? They probably took a chop from somebody in traffic, as Al Kimmel has decided that the whistle needs to be retired temporarily.
And here is Papineau. Gustafson working down low there. Comes back to Campbell at the blue line. His shot goes wide. Now Dan Tuden is after it. Tuden down low for Gustafsson. Tuden in the corner, kicks it forward for himself. Now Lawmaster has it for Belleville. Goes behind the net. Here's Gustafsson giving chase. Jacobson gets there first, and now Ryan Reddy. But he's beat out by Campbell. Up to Tessier. Tessier hits Tuden. Tuden across the blue line. Has Gustafsson open if he can get him the puck. Gustafsson in all alone shoots. Pad save by Campbell. Now Lawmaster off the glass, and here it comes to Reddy. Reddy cross ice to Papineau. Papineau has Baker. He's dumped by Campbell. No penalty called by Kimmel, and now it comes out to Gustafsson. Bertrand is there. He keeps it in. Now Kotick goes behind the net. Campbell is bodied by Baker. Here's Dan Tuden. Tuden can't get it out. Now Campbell around the boards. Tuden will try again. This time the puck hops over the stick. Tessier's there. Tessier will throw it down the length of the ice. This is icing, waved off by Nansen as it doesn't make it all the way down the ice. Now Davis, Bell, and Zoltek are out there, so Ottawa pretty much going with two lines as Crawford touches that one with a high stick, and we'll get a face-off in the Belleville zone.
And Kevin Baker two-handed Brian Campbell in the back of the legs, and he limped off. He's probably got a bit of a Charlie horse. He's got to work that one out before he heads back out. No, it's just, I guess it's a good thing my men's hockey has the weekend off, because we're usually on the ice in about 10-15 minutes. I have a sneaky suspicion I wouldn't have made it if we were playing. As you see Gustafsson, he must have known I picked him.
Gustafsson with the best chance of the hockey game thus far, and now here's Justin Davis. Davis in across the blue line. Davis with a chance at a shot, fires it wide. Cava keeps it in for Ottawa. Behind the net it goes. Davis is there. Right out front to Bell. Bell shoots one. Deflected high over the net. Now Renzi has it for Belleville. Renzi off the boards. Comes to Cheechoo. Crawford is in all alone, but nobody can get him the puck. And he knocks Cava down away from the puck. No interference called. And now here's Bertrand. Throws it in, delayed offside against Belleville. Zoltek cross ice, he goes for Bell. Davis has it now for Ottawa, leaves it for Mark Bell. Galbraith hops over the board on a line change. And now Bell in the corner. Lance Galbraith is there to dig the puck out. Galbraith bodied by Bertrand. Now Galbraith kicking it forward. Lance Galbraith over to Jacobs. Bell cutting for the front of the net. Jacobs couldn't get him the puck. And now here's Cheechoo. Off the boards, not out. Campbell keeps it into the corner. Jacobs is in there to get it. Now Galbraith will go after it. Lance Galbraith behind the net for Jacobs. Jacobs has it. He's being watched by Cheechoo. Now Jacobs will kick it free. Jacobs working down low, knocked down by Cheechoo. Now Cheechoo gets it up over the glass and out of play with 6:54 to go here in overtime number 1.
Al Kimmel's not going to call anything unless it's a murder. It's going to have to be a spear or something serious. And Galbraith chatting up with Corey Campbell. Corey Campbell having some words for Galbraith. Galbraith having again an inspired shift as he and Jacobs were forechecking hard.
Well, as the overtime drags on here, it's interesting to note that Van Hoof has not returned for Ottawa, and they have not been using McLean. They've been using Cava sparingly. So Zion, Campbell, and Boynton getting almost all the shifts on D. And as this game drags on, you can bet they're a little bit tired. And now here's Talbot. Rowe is there for Belleville, hops over Campbell's stick, and now Zion will give chase. Zion being watched by Radovojevic. Zion gets there first. He threw it off the boards. Chaplin couldn't get to it. Now here's Jacobs. Jacobs will tee one up. Jacobs high into the glove of Campbell. That was going over the net, but Campbell didn't take a chance.
Oh, and a rolling puck is a tough thing to read. You can see Campbell had no idea where it was going. He knew he was going to make the play. And then as the puck floated up on that end-over-end shot, he decided to get a hold of it anyways. See, there's the puck bouncing. Look at it. See, it's rolling. It's bouncing around. And look at it come up, and you can just see it looks like it's going for the corner, and then all of a sudden it jumps up on Corey Campbell. But fast reaction time. Corey Campbell is able to corral that. Oh, that was a good height. That was about 3 or 4 feet over the net by the time it got there.
So Dan Tessier on the draw with Dan Tuden. Ben Gustafsson is out there. Tessier, the #1 face-off man for the 67's, and Boynton seems to be ready for something right off the face-off here. Tessier has the draw tie up with Ryan Reddy. Off the glass, it comes out to center ice. Zion is there for Ottawa. Comes into the Belleville zone. Now goes cross-ice. Gustafson knocks it down. High shot goes wide. Tootin backhands it. Goes around the net. Gustafson is there. He will hammer Reddy into the boards. Now Tessier back behind the net. Tootin goes in after it. Patton is there first for Belleville. Now Baker will get it out across the blue line. Nick Boyton has it now for Ottawa. Boyton up. Tipped in by Tootin. Gustafson will give chase. He's being watched by Patton. Gustafson gets there. He's got two bodies on him, and now Tootin has it for Ottawa. Dan Tootin down low for Ben Gustafson. Gustafson tied up in the corner. Kicks it free for Dan Tootin. Comes back to the point. Zion got caught pinching there, but Baker unable to beat him to the puck as Nick Boyton picks it up for Ottawa. Boyton around the boards it comes for Gustafson. Takes it off the skate. Now Gustafson will dump it high into the corner and into the Belleville zone. Lawmaster let up, so no icing call on the Ottawa 67's. Long pass and a two-line pass called as the linesman fell down, but he makes the call anyway.
Well, Steve Miller, trying to earn his way into one of my favorite linesmen. For that call, I give him a perfect 10. He stuck with the call and even made the direction point while he was doing sort of a half rollover when he got caught in the line change at the bench. Watch the left of your screen. There's the line change, and there's the play. Boom! Makes the call. Even though he's going in a different direction what he wanted to go. Good job, Mr. Miller.
And here is Campbell with the puck for Belleville. Off the boards it comes. Now Crawford will spin around and dump it out to center ice. Campbell is there. Campbell dumps it in. Davis will give chase. Davis is beaten to the puck by Lawmaster. Backhand pass for Jacobson. He was turned the other way. Now he goes up for Campbell on the boards. Now here's Brian Campbell for Ottawa. Brian Campbell. And up forward for Bell. Bell has a head of steam, but he can't get to the puck. Now Cheechoo will bring it out for Belleville. Cheechoo striding forward through the neutral zone and across the line. Jonathan Cheechoo puts it in front of the net for Campbell. He's tied up by Davis. Now it goes around the boards, kept in momentarily by Collins. Now Cheechoo has it for Belleville. Throws a shot towards the net. And now here's Cava off the boards. And now Collins will keep it in. A bit of ping pong play as somebody lost a stick, a glove, and a helmet in the corner. I believe that was Derek Campbell for Belleville. And now Radivojevic out at center ice. Radivojevic turning with it. Up to Chaplin. He dumps it into the corner. We'll have to watch out because this is now Derek Campbell's locker stall in the corner. And here's Patton keeping it in. Rowe behind the net. Rowe working on Brian Campbell. Campbell, Rowe beats him on the one-on-one battle. Now Rowe behind the net. And Mark Bell will try and get him. Now Cava stands him up and Jacobs will take it for Ottawa off the glass and down the ice. This will be an icing call against the Ottawa 67's when Patton touches it up.
Boy, this is definitely going to be the fastest period of the game so far because Al Kimmel hasn't made any calls. There's only 3:52 left. It feels like we were only about 10 minutes through the second period at this point. Holy cow. And Howie, I don't know if you're ready at this time, but Howie, you got something for us?
Just want to let you know that our next broadcast on OHL Prime Time will be tomorrow evening. It will be a tape delay, though, at 11 o'clock. The game is actually at 7:30 in Belleville, but we'll have it for you right here on Rogers Community TV. Then, on Tuesday night, we will be live right here from the Ottawa Civic Center, the Belleville Bulls and the 67's for Game 3. Guys?
Off the draw, Zion controls, and I know Howie has a cot set up down there in our studio for these games that run late. Here's Dan Tootin breaking in for Ottawa. Tootin comes back to the blue line. He was looking for Nick Boyton. That pass option is not there anymore. Now he dumps it down low for Tessier. Tessier for Gustafson. Gustafson spearing at it. Can't get a stick on it. Now Nick Boyton shoots one off the pad. Tootin fans on it. Dan Tootin had a chance to end this game, and he fanned on it and fell down. Now here's Papineau back the other way. Baker trying to cut for the net. Ryan Reddy standing in front. And now here's Gustafson as the net comes off the moorings, and we'll get a stoppage in play.
Well, again, the captain, Ryan Reddy, making a few things happen, but can you believe this? When Ottawa's had this many chances, and that man in particular, Tootin and Gustafson, I said these guys have got to get the even strength goals, and they haven't really done it. And here they've had another opportunity to win it in overtime, this line has. And Tuden just too anxious. They're getting too nervous. I think they're second-guessing themselves enough that they're blowing their shots. Gustafson blew his. Tuden blew his. Boy, that line's struggling, and they got to find their touch. This game should be over. Should have been over before overtime.
And here is Bell, Davis, and Zoltek. Crawford slaps it forward for Belleville. Cava high off the glass and down the ice. Bertrand will be there to get it for Belleville. And now he will fire it high into the crowd and out of play with 3:01 to go.
Well, this has definitely been a good game. You can't say that either team has just outplayed the other from start to finish. It's been a case of flow, and neither team has sustained it, but they've definitely had it for stretches at a time. And Rick Bertrand would like to stop that flow. There's 0 points in the 3 games he's played in. Like to see, sure, all Belleville would like to see him get on the board here in this extra frame, because that would mean only one thing. Belleville would take that victory and steal one.
Talbot out there with Galbraith and Jacobs. Here it comes back to Galbraith. Now Campbell will control. Comes into Talbot. Now here is Chaplin. He's crunched into the boards by Jacobs. Fighting for it. Comes back to the point for Campbell. Tipped forward by Radovojevic for Belleville. Now Radovojevic kicks at it and kicks it all the way into the corner. Chaplin is there. So is Cava. Cava gets control. Around the boards it comes. And here is Talbot up for Jacobs. He tries to hit Galbraith, but instead it's turned over for Belleville. They roll it back into the corner where Campbell has it. Campbell goes off Radovojevic's skate. Now Cava will go back to get it for Ottawa. Chris Cava off the boards, misses Jacobs, comes out into the Belleville zone. And now here is Campbell with it. Campbell turning with it, steps across the blue line, hits Talbot, who's cutting forward. Joey Talbot in across the line. Talbot walking forward, a backhander. Glove save by Campbell.
Well, Talbot again likes that backhand, but he fired it a little too soon because Corey Campbell never even moved off that side of the post. He was hugging it tight. He knew Talbot wanted to go back against the flow. And on a backhand, that's what you want to do. You want to get the goalie moving with the same direction that you're going in and then throw it behind him. But Corey Campbell never moved. Watch the move Talbot makes to get in there. But then, see, he takes the shot too soon. He could have moved in and got Corey Campbell at least to move to the center of the net, and they would have more to shoot at. But Corey Campbell's glove has been very strong for him.
And now here's Tessier out there. Gustafson and Tuden both lined up in front of the net. So they're going to try and work it back to Nick Boynton. And now Tessier can't win the draw against Reddy. And now here is Papineau. They keep it in, do the Ottawa 67's. Here's Tessier with it at the right wing boards. Fires a shot right on. Campbell couldn't handle it. And now Gustafson backhands it around the boards. Tessier keeps it in again. Tuden is there along with Reddy. Reddy wins that battle, tips it forward for Papineau. Papineau will dump it in, and this will be icing against the Belleville Bulls. Or no, it won't. The icing was waved off at the last second. And now here's Zion in the corner with Baker. Tessier working with Reddy, 4 men in the corner. And Baker trying to kick it forward. Now Reddy finally does. Works it forward for Baker. Baker bodied by Zion. Now here comes Tessier with it. Tessier's pass up to Dan Tuden. Now a 2-on-2 rush for the 67's. Gustafson couldn't stay onside. He finally comes out, but that makes Ottawa lose their momentum on the rush, and they will change things up. 5 players come off the bench for Ottawa. And now here is Reddy. Reddy throws it in the corner for Belleville off the glass. Campbell will leave it for Zoltek. Belleville making a line change of their own, and off the boards it comes as we enter the last minute of this first overtime period. Jacobson has it for Belleville. Jacobson up to Crawford. Here is Cheechoo. Cheechoo working with it. Cheechoo's backhand pass for Crawford doesn't work out, but a close call for the Ottawa 67's as Davis tips it in past Jacobson. 38 seconds to go here in the first overtime period. Here is Davis. Davis in the corner, working with Bell. Bell is tied up by Crawford. And we'll get a stoppage in play with 28.1 to go here in the first overtime.
Oh, this is a big, big face-off. Ottawa's got to win this one if they want a chance. Belleville on the attack. This is the first time in this last shift that we saw Belleville have an odd-man situation on the rush. And they came down on a 3-on-2. But luckily, Ottawa back-checked hard and were able to put some bodies in the slot and take away any chance Belleville had. See, there's the 3-on-2 in the cross, and he tried to feed across one off of Nick Boynton's leg. But you see Dan Tessier coming back. I think that was Dan Tessier. And it was just one of the forwards who came back and made the play. Boy, these guys are going to be tired because Belleville's a skating team and Ottawa's a skating team. And the bodies are still flying too. This time Ottawa seems to be doing more of the hitting in this frame.
Here's Tessier on the draw. He's been unable to beat Rennie with any consistency. Campbell keeps it in. Boynton's looking to load one up. Campbell rolls one in there. And here is Papineau off the boards. Comes to Boynton at the blue line. He keeps it in. 15 seconds to go. Tessier chops it out front. Knocked down by Boynton. He took a slap at it. Blocked at the defense, and now Boynton spins and fires at Ottawa. Wants to close things out here in the first overtime. That goes off Reddy's helmet and down the ice. And that's the end of the first overtime period, with the score still 5 apiece.
And did you see who was breaking away on that play? That was Papineau, and he and Boynton having words. But Papineau was on the break, but the time expired. Holy jumping, we got us a definite turn of events here. What we thought should have been over has just lengthened yet again.
We'll be back with the 4th intermission right here on OHL Prime Time as we roll on from the Civic Center.
Welcome back to the Ottawa Civic Center. Once again in our studio we have Zach Martin. And Zach, I was only kidding when I said I'd see you at the end of the first overtime period, but here we are again.
Well, it's been quite an interesting period. Dan Tooten had a couple great chances to win the game, but the ice gets a little bit soft after three and a half periods.
You got a guy pulling on you too.
It makes things a little difficult, but we didn't expect this because both these teams can score goals, and especially Belleville. We thought it might be a quick goal, but we're in for another 20 minutes of hockey at most.
Well, or at least. I mean, who knows? With the way that they played that first overtime period, a little sparring almost. It looked as though each one was waiting for the other one to make a move and then react to it. But it took them a while to get going again.
Oh yeah, for the start, overtime periods are not the same as your 3 periods of hockey because you're waiting for the other team to make a mistake. You're going to cover your end, play good defense, and wait for them to make a mistake and try and take advantage. 67's had a couple of great chances. Belleville had a couple of great chances. Kotick and Campbell both played really well.
I was going to make that point that Seamus Kotick did his job in the 67's net in that period.
Oh yeah, for sure. We talked earlier in the season about whether they had the ability to save a game or win a game. The 2 goalies for the 67's, and Kotick showing that he definitely can.
What we were saying out there as well, that when everything was going on, it's not the goals or stops that you make, it's the one that you let in that everybody remembers.
The one thing that's especially interesting, though, we've been talking about between the periods, is the fact that Mark Bell's line is the only one that's doing anything, and that might be a detriment to the 67's right now. You look at because they're all looking to them to score, but it would be great if Tessier and that line stepped up and scored an overtime goal.
Well, they made some chances in that period. We're running out of time, Zach. We might see you again after 20 minutes. Let's hope that we don't.
Yes.
Nothing against you. Nothing against you either. We will be back right after this, folks, with the second overtime period in this first game of the conference semifinals. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Ottawa Civic Center, where after 80 minutes of play, we're still knotted up at 5. The shots in overtime, 8-8, a very even period, Neil.
Yeah, on the score clock and on the scoreboard, it was an even period, but Ottawa definitely had the majority of the chances in that period. All even strength. Al Kimmel's not making any calls that are going to influence the game here so far, and, well, at least he was consistent in that period.
Well, let's take a look at the play of the period. Even though there was no goal scored, there still was a play of the period.
Not much doubt in my mind that if the game was going to be over, it should have been over right here. Dan Tooten, I've got it. Oh, oopsie. Who put that banana peel there? And the banana peel is our play of the period.
I'm pretty sure that's the first time fruit has been the play of the period on the OHL Prime Time. You had to think about that for a second, but
it's been a long season. There's been some pretty good plays in the period. There's been some pretty interesting ones, but I think you're right. I don't think there's ever been a solo slew foot as the play of the period. And these guys still going strong. They're cutting the rug, and if they get a big enough piece, they can probably wear it. That'd be a good idea. Although it is hot in this building, it's getting hotter and hotter.
It is a little hot under the collar for the 67's. They are the ones who have all the pressure on them, the Belleville Bulls. If they were to lose this game, that would be expected. They only have to win one in Ottawa's building. Although this is a perfect opportunity for them to do it. And now Baker, right off the draw. Now here's Tessier as he brings it in over to Tuden. Tessier is dumped. And now here's Tuden. Gustafson calling for it. Now Tuden out in front. Tuden shoots one just wide. Now Zion tries to chop at it. Stays in for a moment. Offside delayed call against the 67's. Here's Ryan Reddy. Ready to Papineau. Papineau cutting towards the net. Tries to go upstairs on Kotick. Kotick was hugging the post. Here's Jacobson. His shot tipped by his own defenseman. And now here it comes right out in front. Kotick scooped away by Dan Tuden. And now here is Ben Gustafson down the right wing. Gustafson with a spin move. Puck taken by Lawmaster. Lawmaster off the boards. And Bell tries to keep it in. Here is Jacobson. Jacobson goes cross ice. Derek Campbell loses it in his skates. Now Brian Campbell is up to play him. So Derek just dumps it in behind the Ottawa net. Here's Cava with it. Cava off the boards. Davis tried to kick it out. Now a high shot goes to the glass. And here's Campbell being hooked by Crawford. Now Derek Campbell has the puck in the corner. He's bodied by his namesake, Brian Campbell. Now Cheechoo back to the blue line for Jacobson. Shot redirected, goes to the corner. Now Zoltek will tap it back for defenseman Cava. Back behind the net it goes to Campbell. His pass goes off the boards, and Bell has a bit of a break. Jacobson, or Lawmaster that is, as Bell takes a shot and Campbell hangs on.
All right, fans, well, Zoltek was trying to get to the net in case there's a rebound, but this time Corey Campbell allows absolutely nothing to get away from him. And I think Mark Bell would like to get a little more on that shot too. He came across, I don't think he made up his mind what he wanted to do. You can see he was thinking about the shot, thinking about the pass, and he just lets a good little snapshot go, a la Mark Messier, the off-foot snapshot. That Corey Campbell has shown that he can stop bigger shots than that when he did it to Lance Galbraith. Well, they're going to need a little more mustard on that hot dog.
And here is Boynton back at the blue line with a shot right on Jacobs, working forward there, trying to get a shot on net. Radovojevic comes back for Belleville. Now Chaplin controls for the Bulls. He will dump it in behind the net. There to get it is Radovojevic. Radovojevic puts one towards the net. Boynton had it go off his skate. A dangerous play for the 67's. And now here's Randy Rowe to Chaplin. Chaplin working on Talbot down low. Now Radovojevic comes back up for Chaplin. Now the puck dropped for Radovojevic as the Bulls work the cycling play. Cheechoo throws a body on Talbot. Now Galbraith trying to get it out. They don't do that. And now finally Zion will skate out across the blue line. Zion in across the Belleville line. Zion will tee one up off a skate. Zion is the first man there, but he can't touch it as now Chaplin shoots it down the ice. Campbell spinning back for Ottawa. Now Galbraith will dump it in cross corner right on net. And Campbell leaves it. And now Reddy with control for Belleville. Only for a moment as Campbell has it back for Ottawa. Brian Campbell across the blue line it goes. Tessier's looking for the pass. Broken up by Jacobson over to his defense partner Lawmaster. Now Tessier breaks up that pass. Now Campbell up to Tuden. Tuden has Gustafson all alone on the right wing. Can't feed him the puck. And now Tuden will spin around and cycle it down low for Gustafson. Gustafson looking for Tessier. Now Gustafson right out in front. The bus was loose in front, but the net came off the moorings, and we'll get a stoppage in play as boos sprinkle down from the crowd.
And is Al Kimmel calling a penalty? He did. He called a penalty against Belleville. Lawmaster is going for knocking the net off the moorings. Oh my goodness, Mr. Kimmel obviously in the intermission found that other whistle, having lost it in the first overtime. And look at Gustafson going hard to the net, but where? Oh, well, I'm sorry, but Ottawa fans are going to hate me, but I think that's a bad call. Clearly Lawmaster was playing Gustafson out, and when he came up, when Gustafson was gone, the net was there and he hit it.
Here is Campbell. Campbell walking in, a shot along the ice. Doesn't get through. Now Cheechoo will control for Belleville. Here is Cheechoo. Cheechoo gloves it ahead to his stick. Now Jonathan Cheechoo down the right wing. Will throw it into the corner. In after it is Nick Boynton. There for Belleville is Rowe. Now Dan Tuden will start out. Tootin up to Campbell. Campbell has a bit of a step, drops it for Dan Tootin. Tootin fires one just wide. Now Tootin, as Gustafson backhands it behind the net. Rowe and Tootin have both lost their sticks, and Dan Tootin kicks it forward. Patton will backhand one high in the air and down the ice. Kotick comes out of his net to play it. Campbell is there. And now Campbell behind his own net as the Ottawa power play sets up. They're on the power play for the next 1:07, and now Bell across the line, leaving it for Zoltek. Zoltek throws it cross ice, intended for Davis. Too hot for him, and now Campbell to Davis, or Bell, excuse me, can't pull the trigger. Now comes back to Boyton, over to Campbell. Campbell thought about a shot, now back to Nick Boyton. Boyton, a shot tipped by Davis, goes wide. And now Reddy trying to tip it forward. Campbell keeps it in, off the skate of Collins and out to center ice, knocked down by Campbell. Almost a breakaway feed for Papineau. Now Papineau cutting in. Papineau comes in, and Kotick sprawling in the cage stops that attempt by Papineau. And now here comes Bell back for Ottawa. So continuous flurries by both teams here. And now Zoltek in the corner. Zoltek working against Patton. Now Bell will come in to pick up a loose puck. Bell, as there's 14 seconds remaining in the power play for Ottawa. Zion to the net. Davis with another shot. Zoltek whacks at it, and Campbell hangs on.
Well, now finally this line has the best opportunity to win it in overtime. On some great play by Davis and Bell and Zoltek. And I think Rick Bertrand busted his stick on the play too. Look at this chance. Kotick throws the stick out. As running out of room was Papineau. And then here's the front of the net. Bell and Zoltek both get whacks at it. And that's Davis, actually. Two good opportunities.
And here is Talbot on the draw with 8 seconds remaining in the power play for Ottawa. Comes back to the blue line for Zion. Zion steps around his man. Zion walking in there. Shot right on Galbraith. Takes a whack at it. Puck is still loose. Galbraith is in there. Talbot looking for a rebound as well. Now it comes out across the blue line. Cava is there for Ottawa. Back to Chris Cava. Cava will throw it up for Galbraith. Now Jacobson handles for Belleville. Off the boards it comes. And now it comes back to Galbraith. Galbraith will dump it in for Ottawa. And after it is Jacobs. Jacobs will lay the body on Lawmaster. And it comes back to Zion at the point. Zion will tee one up. Tipped on the way through. Tipped wide. Now Galbraith working hard down low. Galbraith working on Lawmaster. Throws it through the crease. Nobody there for Ottawa. Comes out across the blue line and back into Ottawa territory. Back to pick it up for the 67's. It's Cava. Now Zion will go get it in the corner. Zion, a backhander, comes to the blue line. Gloved ahead by Bertrand. Now it comes down into the Belleville zone. Campbell lets it go by. And this is icing against the Ottawa 67's.
That's a terrible call. The puck went through the blue. And if it goes through the... Well, actually, I'm not sure. If it goes through the square of the crease or the blue of the crease. I think it depends what the OHL uses. But it went through the blue. It may not have gone through the actual square of the crease, though. Another good opportunity. Look at Zion make the move to the middle and pull the trigger. And Galbraith chipping at it. Jacobs chipping at it. And who's that? It looks like Randy Rowe went down. Looks like he might have caught a stick or something. Whew. Action is hot at both ends.
And Davis, Bell, and Zoltek are out there for Ottawa with under 14 minutes remaining here in the second overtime period. Bell on the draw. Chaplin will be there to meet him. Comes back for the Belleville Bulls. Spinning around and firing a shot right on is Radivojevic. Handled by Kotick. And we get another stoppage in play.
Well, it's a good thing. It's always the ones off the draw that are tough to read. It's the quick shot, so as soon as the play gets underway, there's Radivojevic, who's been rather silent. He's got 1 assist so far in the game. But we really thought we'd see more out of him. But he's been unable to raise the level of his play, I think, to match that of the 67's and the rest of his teammates. Belleville's played a very strong game, no doubt about that. They've been playing very hard.
A shot right off the draw, handled by Kotick. Here's Campbell over to Boyton. Boyton behind the net to Campbell. And the Ottawa defense situation very thin, so fatigue could begin to be a factor for the Ottawa defense corps. Although Campbell and Boyton are used to logging a lot of minutes as we near the 90-minute mark of this game. Playing with basically 3 defensemen are the Ottawa 67's. Here's Lawmaster out across the blue line. Goes back into the Ottawa zone. Here's Nick Boyton. Boyton takes it behind the net. Boyton will work with it. He looks for a pass, instead goes off the glass, makes the sure play, and now here's Tuden, has Tessier up ahead, but Gustafsson will carry it in. Ben Gustafsson cutting towards the net. Gustafsson off the crossbar. Ben Gustafsson almost made Neil Turcotte a very happy man here in our scoring picks, and Tessier takes that pass over 2 lines.
In our unofficial pool. Good thing there's no money on it. Oh my goodness, Ben Gustafsson twice could have won it for me. And look at this move. And this is what I said they had to do. They had to go outside the defense and cut into the net. It worked. They haven't done that all game, and the one time they do it, look at the scoring opportunity. It goes off the post. They actually beat everybody on the play except the goal post.
And the puck hops up over the glass and out of play. And this game reaching the 90-minute mark. And you know the game is getting old when your contact lenses dry up. I'm now calling the game with one eye.
Well, you're really keeping an eye on the game now, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Well, okay, speaking of games, we'll give you a little rest for your eyes here as there's a delay on the surface. Is that good news for those watching and are fans of the Hull Olympics? The Hull Olympics have won 5-4 against Shawinigan tonight, so they take a 3-1 series lead. So Hull continuing their Cinderella story and upsetting Shawinigan so far 3-1.
And wouldn't it be great if the Ottawa 67's could meet the Hull Olympics in the Memorial Cup right here in the National Capital Region. Here's Cava behind the net. He's dragged down in the corner and he remains down. Ottawa touches the puck up. And we'll get a stoppage in play.
Well, they don't need another defenseman out of the lineup. Sellers isn't even in the lineup. Van Hoof has already gone down with an injury. They can ill afford defensive injuries. And again, it's another one up around the face. And that's even with the visors. The visors don't do it. They're not enough. And there's the slew foot. Again, the slew foot, one of the dangerous plays in this game. The slew foot has been on both sides. I think Cava's all right, though. I think he's going to come back. I think he just got a bit of a scratch there on the lid.
Cava becoming an important factor for the 67's. Back on defense here as this game wears on. And Talbot, Jacobs, and Galbraith will be out there for Ottawa. Back on defense will be Zion and Boyton.
Well, look for the wraparound clearing attempt by Zion or whoever gets the puck behind the net. And watch for Galbraith up the boards.
Radovojevic controls instead for Belleville. Now it's Zion in the corner. Here is Chaplin working there down low. Chaplin splits the puck free, now throws it behind the net for Randy Rowe. Rowe in the corner working on Boyton. And it comes back to Chaplin. He cycles it back for Radovojevic, comes around the boards as Jacobs takes a chop at it. Doesn't get out of the Ottawa zone. And now it comes out across the blue line as Galbraith will turn with it. Galbraith up to Jacobs. Jacobs chips it forward for himself. Actually, Joey Talbot will go in and chase it down. Talbot closes Rowe off. Now comes back to Zion at the point. Shot right on. Rebound. Talbot was lurking around there. He couldn't close in on the rebound quickly enough, and it's cleared out of harm's way. Now here's Jacobs. Jacobs over to Talbot. Talbot back to Galbraith. He tees one up, goes wide. Now here's Papineau as that shot went all the way around the boards. Papineau fires a high shot on Connick. He handles it. And now here's Galbraith with Reddy closing in for Belleville. Has the puck taken off his stick. Now Patton with a nice play to keep it in for Belleville. And now it comes out across the blue line. Hits off a stick that is now on the ice surface. And now Patton goes cross ice, intercepted by Tessier. Tessier will wind one up along the ice, goes wide. Now Patton in there for Belleville. Reddy. And now it comes back to Boyton at the blue line. Right to Gustafsson. Hits off his skate. Tuden is looking for the puck. And now here's Baker. Tuden will turn with it. Patton right on top of him. His pass up, gloved by Ryan Reddy. Reddy around the net. behind there, and Kotick breaks his goal stick, and Papineau wants a piece of Campbell. The net came off the moorings, and now everybody comes in.
Of course, Papineau wants a piece of Campbell. The defense core has already been depleted, and if they can get Brian Campbell, arguably the most dangerous player as far as Belleville's concerned, in the regular season had 1 goal and 13 assists against them. If you can get him off the ice surface for 2 minutes in overtime, even if it's an even-Steven deal for manpower, you gotta love that. And I don't think Al Kimball's gonna call anything. Good for you, Al.
So here comes Zoltek, Bell, and Davis, who've been the most dangerous line offensively for Ottawa.
Although in the overtime, they haven't really dominated the play. The Tessier, Tude, and Gustafson line has actually dominated play, but they haven't been able to score, and boy, have they had some chances. And there's Kotick trying to get back to his net. And for some reason, Justin Papineau thinks it's Brian Campbell's fault that he was cutting underneath Kotick.
I don't know how he saw that, but Kaba back on the ice here, and now here's Campbell off the boards for Davis. Backhand pass through the neutral zone for Bell. Too far for him, and now Lawmaster behind the net. Jacobson with control for Belleville. Off the boards for Derek Campbell. Campbell up through the neutral zone across the red line. Campbell still with the puck, dumps it into the corner, and Brian Campbell is there. Bell will take a seat on top of Jonathan Cheechoo, I believe. Or excuse me, that's Glenn Crawford, and the puck ties up in the corner, and we'll get another stoppage in play.
And that's Lawmaster again. Now, is Al Kimball going to call anything? I don't think so. And Zoltek can't believe it. Zoltek just got leveled by Lawmaster, and he looks at the ref and like, what is going on? Well, Al Kimball's in a tough position, that's for sure.
And we talk about the players getting fatigued as this game wears on, but of course the referees are doing a lot of skating out there too, and there's no line changes.
No, absolutely. They're the only ones that stay out there the entire length of this game, and yes, they're probably getting tired, which means your angles of viewing the surface are going to change. And I can tell you, from reffing a couple of years myself, it's very tough to do to keep that flow going that you started off with.
And here's Padden back at the blue line. Instead of shooting, dumps it to the corner, and now Talbot around the boards. For Jacobs. Jacobs will control for Ottawa. Skate out across the red line. Jacobs will dump it in to the corner for Ottawa. Here's Rowe off the boards. Comes right to Talbot. Talbot tries to go back down low for Jacobs. Pass intercepted by the Belleville Bulls. Now off the boards it comes. And there is Rowe putting it forward for Chaplin. Talbot is knocked down heavily in the corner. Now a shot whistled wide by the Belleville defenseman. That was Collins, and now Padden, the other point man, keeping it in, doing a good job thus far this period of keeping the puck in at the blue line. And now here's Collins. Collins around behind the net, stopped by Rowe. Rowe spun around and knocked down by Zion, but Rowe keeps it for Radovoy with a shot right on. Kotick with a pad save. Now here's Chaplin. Chaplin, a backhander for Boyton. And now Talbot leaves it for Jacobs. Talbot tries to tip it out to center ice. Doesn't connect. And now Papineau is spun around. Now Galbraith with a chance, but they're at the end of a long shift. So he will just dump it off the boards and down the ice. Now here's Reddy with a burst of steam. Throws it right in on Kotick, and Kotick will hang on with 9:12 to go in overtime number 2.
Well, those line changes, the wholesale line changes that Ottawa likes to use, you can see with the guys getting tired, they're getting tougher and tougher to complete effectively, as Walker was able to come across the far side, Kevin Baker come across the far side and get the shot away. Kevin Baker's been very dangerous in the first round and continuing his scoring ways in the second round. He's got 2 of the 5 Belleville goals already. He's become quite the sharpshooter. But the guy I picked to score probably isn't going to do it from his knees if Belleville gets the job done. But he managed to find Radovojevic, who we said has got to elevate his play. And if his conditioning and ice time was less, he's got some legs still.
Comes back to Lawmaster, a shot right on. Cav off the boards and down the ice. Zoltek giving chase. Spinning around, Lawmaster off the boards and out to center ice. Here's Campbell. Campbell tried to hit Zoltek, intercepted by Cheechoo. Knocked off his stick by Mark Bell. Now it comes to Lawmaster. Lawmaster into the Ottawa zone. Campbell leaves it for Campbell. Campbell around the boards for Zoltek. Zoltek tries a breakout pass for Bell. Too high for him. And now Jacobson over to Lawmaster. Lawmaster will dump it into the corner for Belleville. Back to pick it up is Brian Campbell. Campbell, Cheechoo intercepts that pass. They go towards the front of that. Cheechoo hangs on. Cheechoo, a shot doesn't get through. Cheechoo looking for the rebound. Now Patton will fire one behind the net. Right out in front, Papineau has a chance at it. Or excuse me, that's Derek Campbell. Now Crawford behind the net. Couldn't get to that puck in time, and Ottawa's able to clear the zone. Now it comes back in the zone. Icing will be called against Belleville.
They could have called offside too, as two Belleville players were just coming out of the zone, and it was awfully close. But luckily for Ottawa, the icing is the only one that was seen by the linesman. As Brian Campbell, who's had a tough couple of shifts, getting roughed up a bit, but so is Jason Lawmaster. But look at the chance of puck control. 67's falling all over the place. Matt Zoltek coming to help out, and he gets taken out of the play. 4 67's out of the play, and Cheechoo can't get a shot away. Good thing for Ottawa, because Cheechoo can really fire.
As Boyton sets up for the one-timer here, Tessier can't win the draw against Reddy. He's been having problems with Reddy all night long. Puck squirts towards the front of the Belleville net, and now it comes back out across the blue line for Ottawa. Zion is back in his own zone. That pass for Gustafson, too far for him, and this will be an icing call as Belleville touches up. And you mentioned the Hull Olympics moments ago. They were involved in a 3-overtime game in the first round that they eventually won. So for you Ottawa fans, let's hope that that national capital karma continues here on Good Friday.
Although I'd rather see it ended in this period than the next one, as we are getting very close to the witching hour. Well, for those of you watching in the Ottawa area, if you want to stay up to date on all the teams around the OHL, this is the place to do it. It's Rogers Community TV's own OHL This Week, and that's Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. right here on Rogers Community TV.
Here is Zion. Campbell falls down, and now Davis. And it comes back to Lawmaster for Belleville. A two-line pass, a two-line offside against the Belleville Bulls as Campbell touches the puck at center ice.
Well, you can just see the fatigue in the legs as we are up almost near the century mark in total shots. 50-44 is the mark. And so Ottawa really has had the only shots in this particular frame, because they've got 6 shots. It doesn't seem like Belleville's doing much, but they're getting the shots somehow.
And here is Jacobson. Jacobson turns for Belleville. Off the boards it comes. And it comes down to center ice, where Bell will control. Bell across the blue line. Bell being tied up by Lawmaster. Comes off the boards for Crawford. Glenn Crawford up to Jonathan Cheechoo. Cheechoo in across the blue line. He'll fire a shot. Goes off Zion's shin guard to the corner. Now here's Boyton around the boards for Davis. Line change made by Belleville. Davis dumps it out to center ice. Bertrand can't handle that. Comes all the way back behind the Belleville net. Bertrand is out there. Changes made by Ottawa now as they dump it in cross corner. Here is Cava. Cava goes back behind his own net. Chris Cava for Ottawa comes out across the blue line as it's floated up there by Jacobs. Now Jacobs fires it into the Belleville bench and over the glass.
Well, Ian Jacobs has been really throwing the body, and he's doing a good job, because that's what he has to do if he wants to get some ice time, as the Florida pick has really been rather silent for some of the plays. He's got a lot of ice time, but when he's out there, he's got to play the body and do things solid defensively, and he's been doing that. And that's why he's still getting shifts here late in this game. But I mean, it doesn't matter what line you're on now, you're going to get shifts. As this game drags on, you can't keep going to your number 1, number 2 guys. You got to play everybody now.
Although the Belleville Bulls have not brought Renzi, Robinson, and Newbury out in a long while. I'm not even sure if they've seen the ice in the overtime periods. And here is Campbell. Campbell off the boards for Gustafson. Gustafson across the red line, in across the blue line. Gustafson working on Collins, takes it to the outside. Ben Gustafson leaves it for Tuden. Tuden couldn't get there. Now Zion will fire a shot, and it goes wide around the boards. Campbell had vacated the right point, and now it's out at center ice where Dan Tuden will control. Comes back to Brian Campbell. Campbell to Ben Gustafson. Gustafson Across the red line, Ben Gustafson hanging on to the puck, backhands it into the zone. Dan Tuden will give chase. Kelly Patton is there first, fans on his first pass attempt, but he gets the puck right back. And now here's Derek Campbell off the skate of Justin Davis. Davis will fire it into the corner. In after it is Mark Bell. Bell will turn around, come up the left wing boards, and now Bell down low for Davis. Davis looking for Bell in front. Nobody there for Ottawa. Now he leaves it for Zoltek. Zoltek to Bell. Hits off Davis' skate. And they don't get a shot away, but very close in the Belleville crease. And now Kotick will leave it for Zion. Zion bodied by Cheechoo. Cheechoo steals the puck and leaves it for Campbell. Campbell right out front for Belleville. Kotick has it caught up, and Kotick will freeze it for a stoppage in play with 5:24 remaining.
Well, you see, number 37, Derek Campbell, goes hard to the net. But it's a good thing that Ottawa was coming back and trying to back check, because it seemed like Belleville had a bit of an advantage. Derek Campbell, the Nepean native, very tired. Look at the chance, though, Davis and Zoltek. Look at Zoltek walks out, puts it to Bell. He just gets the toe of the stick on it, and then Davis gets the toe of the blade on it, but it still doesn't go at the net. And there's Nathan throwing out, sorry, Derek Campbell throwing it out in front. I think you're right. We haven't seen that rookie line, and they played really well. I'm surprised they haven't played yet in this overtime period.
Off the boards it comes, and Galbraith will chase it down. Icing is waved off. Now Jacobson around the boards, slapped at, but now Radovojevic with a bit of a break here for Belleville. 2-on-2 rush. Radovojevic misses it. Now Lawmaster shoots one high off the glass. Comes around the boards. Chaplin battling for it with Jacobs. Now it comes to Galbraith. Here's Jacobs lofting it out for Talbot. Talbot couldn't get under it. Now Lawmaster has it for Belleville. Belleville backhand pass for Jacobson. Jacobs is all over him, and now Chaplin is bodied. Now Radovojevic will control. Radovojevic in across the blue line. Campbell closes him off, and now Talbot takes it behind the net, leaves it for Zion. Now Jacobs has it for Ottawa. Jacobs at the end of a long shift, he will roll it in, and he is knocked down by Randy Rowe. Line change made by Ottawa. Tuden, Tessier, and Gustafson soon to follow are on the ice for Ottawa. And now here's Bertrand, bodied off by Tuden. Now Tessier whacks at it, knocks it down the ice, and there is Tessier going down in a heap. No penalty call. And now here is Patton. Patton all the way down the ice. And this will be an icing call against the Belleville Bulls with 4:07 to go here in the second overtime.
Well, I don't know what it's going to take now. I mean, you saw a penalty against Lawmaster for delay of game at the beginning of this overtime frame for accidentally bumping into the net. And here you see a very specific, intentional hook because Tessie had positional advantage. I feel sorry for Mr. Kimmel. He's doing his best. No doubt
Bell
about that.
wins the draw back to Cava. Cava thought about shooting. Now Bell right front scores! Ottawa scores! Bell scores at 16 minutes of the second overtime period. Ottawa's bench empties. They have taken a 1-0 lead in this series.
Job done. It is the line. Chris Cava, an unlikely hero, sets it up. And I wouldn't have picked Chris Cava to be an important player in the overtime, but he was getting lots of ice. He made the play. Zoltek's happy. Cava's happy. And Davis, everybody's happy. There's the shot. There's Bell going hard to the net. And you can bet that is one huge win. And I mean huge win.
So the Ottawa 67's take a 1-0 lead in this series, and the Belleville Bulls, who battled all the way back, now have to go back to Belleville and face the Ottawa 67's tomorrow night, although that's almost tonight.
Yeah, a couple of more minutes and it would be tonight. Boy. Well, I think we'll have to take a... No, we got 3-star selection coming up. We're going to go to break, but here's the 3 stars as called by a very tired, I'm sure, Mike Ross.
Third star from the 67's, number 4, John Zion. Producing the second star from the 67's, number 9, Matt Zoltek. The first star from the 67's, number 16, Mark Bell.
No doubt about it, Mark Bell was instrumental in that game. I really think you could have picked Corey Campbell in there somewhere. He stopped 51, had to face 51 shots, only let in 6.
Well, I was just going to say the Belleville Bulls coming back, tying it up at 5, and then taking them to 2 overtime periods certainly deserve at least 1 star in this game.
I agree. There's a lot of guys you could have picked, though, and you get that hometown rush in the 3-star selection. That's all right, but no matter how you slice it, that was a huge victory. Whoever took that first game have a very large advantage going into game 2. Ottawa had to have it if they had a chance at winning this series in any short space of time.
So the final score, 6-5. We'll be back with post-game comments right here on OHL Prime Time.
Well, it's a jubilant finish here at the Civic Center. Jubilant finish. This is the puck that Mark Bell scored the winner with. 6-5 was the final score. Incidentally, you already know that the Canada beat the Russians by a score of 6-5 in '72. They did it again in '87. 6-5 was the score here in Ottawa tonight, with the 67's defeating the Belleville Bulls by that score. We're waiting for Mark Bell to come out of the dressing room. Brian Kilray, of course, giving the team some special instructions regarding tomorrow's trip to Belleville, their practices subsequent to that and everything like that. Doesn't look like Mark Bell is going to be coming out. We've lost Mr. Bell. Mark Bell's dad was right here a minute ago as well, and we're not going to be getting him. Karen McGee, we're not getting him. We're going to try and stick around here as long as we can in an attempt. Zach, come here. Zach, get over here. Zach Martin is just standing by. We're going to get Zach's expert analysis on this. Zach, a thrilling finish for the 67's, 6-5 win in overtime. What can you say?
You couldn't have asked for a better guy to score the goal. That line played so well. You had to wait for that line to score, and Bell put it in the net to win the game for them.
Bell had 2. Matt Zoltek had 2 more, and then the other one was a nice one. Thank goodness. Here comes Mark Bell right now. Mark Bell coming over here. Mark, here's your puck. Thanks. Your line is on fire these days. 5 goals tonight scored by your line. What makes you guys so good right now?
I don't know. We've just been playing well lately, and Dan played well. Dan's line played well all year, and they're just not getting the bounces like we are. And they got a lot of talent to stay off the board, and we just got to keep the puck going deep when they're defensemen. And we're all big guys. I've said it many times, and we're all big guys. And you just got to work down low, and that's the way it goes. And we just give the puck down low on those guys and work the D.
What was the mood in the room after the 3rd period when you guys had the lead, 2-goal lead with 2 minutes left, and it was gone?
Yeah, it was just taken away from us like that. It was kind of like the Barrie game where we had the 2-goal lead, and then they scored 2 quick ones on us. But that's the way it goes, and we weren't too happy about it. But we had a couple more periods left in us, so we came out with a win.
Your dad was here tonight. How many games has he been to here in Ottawa?
Well, this was his 2nd trip down. He was down a couple weekends ago against Kingston and Barrie, and it's a long drive for him, and it's tough for him to get off work and stuff like that. But my brother's here and his friend and my dad, and so that makes it all more special for me.
I guess it does. Congratulations, Mark. Good luck tomorrow night in Belleville, and I want to remind everybody that game will be on tomorrow night on Rogers Community TV at 11 o'clock, tape delayed. It's a 7:30 start in Belleville. Mark, congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll see you folks tomorrow, or we'll see you actually on Tuesday when our next OHL primetime broadcast will be after tomorrow night. Don't forget, folks, 1-0 the series right now for the 67's. We will see you when we see you on Tuesday. Take care. For everybody here at Rogers Community TV, bye-bye.